Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the 107th Annual General Meeting of the Singapore Sloan Tamil Association. My name is Sri Saravanan. I'm the Secretary of the Scta Management Committee. We have reached a quorum of 65 people, I think a few more coming in. Before we begin the proceedings, just give a couple of administrative instructions. First and foremost, please ensure that you have the green tag if you're a member, so that we can tell who's here. Now, we'll go through the agenda first and foremost. Broadly, so firstly, we'll observe a minute silence for the members who have passed in the previous year, followed by the President's address and adoption of standing orders. Then we'll go through the matters arising, right? Confirmation of minutes, confirmation of annual report, confirmation of statement of accounts, election of up to 9 members to the Management Committee of the Scta, and the appointment of the external and internal auditor. Thereafter, Dr. Indriyogan, the chairman of the temple, will give a presentation of the plans for the Kumbhasham next year. And finally, we'll address any and all resolutions in relation or connected to any of the items of the agenda, which have been received before 14th of May, 2026. So, first and foremost, I'd like to invite everyone to stand to observe a minute silence for all the members who have passed in the year 2024-2025. Thank you. Please be seated. At this moment, we'd also like to take a moment to remember someone very dear to us, Mr. Subramaniam Mayuradhan. He was the secretary of the temple. He invited Dr. Indriyogan, the chairman, to say a few words.
Thank you, Saravanan. Good evening, respected elders, members of the Singapore Sloan Tamil Association and the Sri Sambhavi Temple, management committees and friends.
Can't hear.
Now? Increase the volume. Okay? No? Hello? Just a minute. Okay? Can you hear? Okay, today is the 16th day of the passing of a good friend and secretary of the Sri Sambhavi Temple. Just in the afternoon, we had a small memorial for him. And I think for a person who has served in the committee for over 10 years, he has been remembered by quite a number of people who had come for the lunch. To speak about Myron is to speak about the devotion, service, and the unwavering love for Sri Sambhavi and the Saivite philosophy. He was a trusted, in the truest sense, a Siva Tondar. He was a person who actually gave his full appreciation to the Saivam and the Saivite philosophy and the temple. Some of the things that Mayu had done over the years include the setting up of the Kailasa Vahanam. It's one of the biggest things that we have on certain Tiruvalla days, which we bring the Kailasa Vahanam out. He had organized that. He had a visionary system. He was a person who he created or he improved the Nataraja Isai Aradhanai, which was a midday musical offerings, and he brought in people for the evening sessions. He's one of those who had contributed in that sense. In 2006, he envisioned that the Vinayagar Savarthi should not be just a 1-day Tiruvizha, it should have been a 10-day Tiruvizha or a 5-day Tiruvizha. And he started a Laksha Archana and he looked into all the details. The sad thing was, even during his sickness in the last year and a half or year plus, he had always attempted to come in for meetings and to, if not at least to do it online. And even the last Sangha Abhishekam, which many of you all had contributed, was in a way organized and set up by him, systemized by him. So I think we owe a lot of sacrifice that he had done even in sickness and in health. But even as we grieve, we must give thanks to the privilege of knowing him. He leaves behind more than memories. He leaves behind a legacy of humility, dedication, and selfless service. And we know his soul will be blessed. May Lord Vinayagar receive him with grace. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nduyagan. We'll now move on to the President's address.
Good afternoon, everybody. Trustees, Dr. Lavaneeswaran, Professor Kuperan, esteemed members of the Association. Thank you for attending the 107th AGM. It's our pleasure to host all of you in this newly renovated wedding hall, which was first built in 1989. The last time we met in this hall was on 24th November 2024, when we held the 106th AGM. At that meeting, we obtained budget approval from this House for the renovation of the 2nd floor and the 3rd floor of this building, and for the redevelopment of the ancillary building. If you look through those windows, you will see the ancillary building that has been up, and we anticipate getting the TOP soon. And this floor above and this floor has been renovated. I think you will agree with me, the Temple Management Committee and the Building Committee, under the guidance of Dr. Yunda Yogan, have delivered on those budgets that they have obtained from you. Since the last AGM, the SCTA and the Temple Management Committees have jointly organized the hugely successful Sacred Spaces event last year, which raised over 700,000 for the Temple Building Fund. Since then, we continue to raise funds. I will let Indian tell you more about his plans for both fundraising and the next phase of the renovation and restoration works in this temple. The SCTA Management Committee, with the help of volunteers, the students from MDA, and with the undeniable support of Mrs. Indra Iswaran, organized a luncheon event at the Shangri-La Hotel. At this event, we raised $30,000 or in excess of that to fund SCTA activities. At this event, we also raised funds and gave out bursaries to students from Scta and the Marine Parade Family Service Centers. At this point, I want to personally thank both the members of the SCTA and the Temple Management Committees, who are all volunteers, for their dedication and commitment to serving this temple and our community. At this AGM, we have two broad objectives, or two key objectives. The first is to update you on the ongoing fundraising efforts and how much more is needed to complete the task ahead. If you look at the agenda at item 10.3, Dr. Indra Yogan will present to you our plans for the 3rd phase of the Kumbhavisham 2027, which includes the renovation of the dining hall on the ground floor and the refurbishment of the temple sanctums, the gopurams, and the frescoes. At item 10.4 of the agenda, he will seek that budget approval for the conduct of the Kumbhavisham 2027, which we have planned to be held on the 11th of February 2027. The second thing that we want to do today is to seek your confirmation of the statement of accounts for the financial year 2024 for both SCTA and SSVT. This is at item 6 of the agenda. The reason I bring this up is because we have received queries about the delay in the statement of accounts. So allow me to explain. At the AGM held on the 24th of November 2024, this House adopted a proposal made by Mr. Nirmalan Pillai and seconded by Mr. A. Ganesanandan that the Management Committee be empowered to engage a well-established mid-tier external auditor. You can find this in our minutes at page 12, at paragraph 10.5, of the minutes that's before you, in front of you in the booklet. Now, Mr. Nirmalan Pillai did not stop there. He reached out to his network of friends and introduced us to Crowe Horwath, a professional firm specializing in audit, tax, and advisory matters. They were initially reluctant to take on this assignment because we were a charity and they knew they had to audit both Scta and the temple. They were not familiar with auditing Hindu temples. With some persuasion, they eventually accepted our request at a hugely discounted fee in June last year. And then they commenced work auditing the accounts, and they delivered the signed audited statements only in February of this year. Bearing in mind the time taken to organize and print this AGM booklet and the requisite notice for calling an AGM, it has taken us about 10 weeks since receiving the signed financial statements to organize this AGM. So this change of appointing a new or external auditor is a significant one. Allow me to explain why if you take a look at the accounts itself. If you have the book with you, I'll ask that you turn with me to page 64. Page 64 of the book, and in the notes in this accounts by Crowe, there is a section 7 on related party transactions. Now this note reads, the freehold land located at 19, 21 and 27 Ceylon Road is held in trust by the trustees of the association, which is a related party of the Sri Senbaga Vinayagar temple. These properties have been leased to the temple on a rent-free basis since inception. However, the purchase cost of 27 Ceylon Road has been recognized in the temple books. So what this means is that the external auditor has stated here clearly that while it's an asset that is owned by the association, it appears reflected in the temple accounts. It is a note. Now, they then move on to say, as at the date of the financial statements, the management committee is in the process of amending the constitutions of both the association and the temple to address an audit point raised by the Commissioner of Charities in their audit report dated 24th March 2021. What that also means is that we have extended a copy of the audit report to the auditors so that they too have sight of it. Going forward, the association, the temple, will have to execute an agreement to provide clarity on the usage rights and financial implications relating to the land and buildings on 19, 21, and 27 Ceylon Road. This is the first time that in our accounts that we have properly reflected this fact. And you'll find that this is also similarly reflected under related party transactions at the end of the temple accounts as well. And you will see it at page 87 and note 14. The same statement, the same note. The reason I highlight this is to express to you what we have been working on the last 1 year, working with the external auditors as we start to look closely at the KPMG audit report and understand what lies ahead of us, as the temple has been a registered charity since 2002. Now, Indran and I met up with Crowe earlier last week to kick off the audit of the financial year 2025. We hope to get that statement of accounts audited much quicker because they are now much more familiar with the temple and some of the accounts and the things that we do, in particular related to the temple. And we are aiming to call for an AGM very shortly after that, sometime probably in Q4 of this year. And that is to approve the financial statement for 2025. And we hope in this manner to slowly get back into the cycle that we should, where we call for these AGMs on a regular basis in the second quarter. At this point, it is taking us time to resolve some of the issues that were raised by KPMG in their audit report. And we hope that when we call for this AGM in Q4, the dining hall renovations would have been completed and we'll be able to host you there. We will also take our guidance from Crow on the accounting entries that need to be corrected in order to regularize our financial statements in line with the guidance given in the MCCY audit report. To this end, I would like to place on record my thanks to the Temple Treasurer Gobi, who sits on the stage with us, his assistant, the SCTA Treasurer Sundar, and if any of you catch him in the breaks, talk to him about an amount of work that had to go on behind the scene in order to work with Crow to deliver on these financial statements. I want to move on to another issue that I know has arisen, which has got to do with the unsigned amended minutes of the 105th AGM. So, if you look at page 17, right. If you look at page 17 of the AGM booklet, you will see it says amended. Right. If you look at the page 17, it says the amended minutes of the 105th Annual General Meeting. And there's a query as to why, at the end of these amendments, it was unsigned. Now, if you look at page 26, there is a note there. So what transpired is at the AGM on the 24th of November, when we held it over here, 3 members from the floor stood up to say that they wanted amendments to be made to the minutes. They are, and we have noted it here at page 26 on the last page. There is Ms. Ile Singai Devi, Mr. Nirmalan Pillai, and Mr. Thambi Raja. Now, if you go through these amended minutes, you will see that where we have amended, we have crossed it out and we have retained the amendments so that it is transparent as to what these amendments were. Now, if you go back now, if I ask you to go back now to the minutes of the AGM held in November 2024, if I ask you to look at page 10, if you look at page 10, right at the top at paragraph 5.5, the minutes of the 105th Annual General Meeting and matters arising, which is amendments to the minutes, were adopted after a proposal by Mr. Sundaresan and seconded by Dr. Sivanesan. So in other words, these amendments which were dealt with at that AGM were proposed and seconded by this House. And there's a footnote at the bottom there as well, right, noting this as well. So there is no need to obtain signatures when this House has decided that these amendments have been accepted. Let me move on to the last item that I wish to update you all on, which is about the EGM that was held on the 5th of April 2026. Now, as many of you will know, and it is even documented here in our minutes, if you look at the last AGM minutes, and there were queries raised, and we'll attempt to address them later. If you look at page 13, page 13 of the last AGM minutes at paragraph 12, we recount some of the effort that has been ongoing since 2023 to review the Constitution and understand what we want to do. Now, what happened in 2024 November at the last AGM is that pursuant to a resolution that was brought in this House appointed Mr. Nirmalan Pillai as the honorary legal advisor. With that appointment, we have been working with him on the Constitution, and a proposal was put forth at the EGM, and that proposal, as we took pains to explain at the EGM as well, is a recommendation by the SCTA and the SSVT committees. That's the recommendation we put forth the 2 constitutions. What it means is that it is an amendment to the SCTA constitution, and it is a proposal to set up the temple as a separate society so that it has legal entity status. so that the temple can operate independently, but on the same set of members in both organizations. That's what those two constitutions stand for. Now, at the EGM, a total of 100 people attended, 99 of them ordinary members. And we were pleased to inform that a secret ballot was conducted and 87.7% of the members present voted in favor of setting up the temple as a separate society. Now, constitutions are living documents. While there were suggestions made to make some changes, if the suggestions were not carried through, it is not the end of the matter. Constitutions can be amended again and again by this House. But what is fundamental is this proposal to set this temple up as a separate society. And we have got the backing and the vote as at that EGM. Now, following that EGM, with Mr. Nirman Pillai and the key office holders, Indran, myself, Sri, we went and met up with MCCY officials. We updated them on the account, on the EGM, and we have also sent them the draft or the proposed Temple Society Constitution. We sent it to them. Now, what needs to be clear is this. Without the approval of the Commissioner of Charities, we cannot register the Temple Society. They need to approve it, because today the temple is a registered charity. If you look at our current constitution under Rule 36, you will find there is a requirement for us to inform the Commissioner of Charities when we make amendments to the rules. And we have complied with that. We have now handed it over to them. Now, until such time that the temple constitution is approved by the Commissioner, and because it is linked to the SCTA constitution, we cannot register the SCTA constitution with the ROS as well. So we now need to work with the Commissioner to get our temple constitution to comply with all the governance requirements by the Commissioner. Once that is in place, or if there are any such amendments that they request us to make, we will inform you as well. Until such time, it is the prevailing constitution, last registered with the ROS, which is 2009. That is the constitution that will apply, and those are the rules with which we conduct this AGM and any subsequent EGM or even the last EGM. It is the current constitution. And that's to clarify any doubt that there may be from the House or the floor. Now, I wish to update the House on a recent development. On the 7th of May 2026, the SCTA Secretary received an email from Scta Rajasundaram to inform us that members had signed a requisition pursuant to Clause 26B to call for another EGM. She informed us that the letter would be sent by registered post later that same day. On the 9th of May, the temple manager received that letter. The letter itself, although dated on 2nd May 2026, and it was signed by a member, Ashwin Kumaresadas. That letter was accompanied by 20 supporting signatures. We confirm now in front of all of you that it is a valid requisition, and the onus is now on us to have another EGM. Now, what happened next is on the 14th of May, in anticipation of this AGM, the SCTA committee held a meeting, and we took two decisions in light of what has happened. There was some expectation from members that we can change this from an AGM to EGM. That cannot happen, because the call for the AGM today went out much earlier, and we have far more important priorities to resolve today. So today we'll follow this agenda and we'll deal with the issues I've highlighted. The budget approval is important because we have priorities within the temple that we must achieve. We will call for this AGM as it's been validly requisitioned. The SCTA Secretary has reached out to Ashwin to inform him that we have a Mahotsavam festival starting on the 21st of May 26 for 10 days, And then this will be closely followed by the Balastabanam Puja on the 6th and 7th June. And due to the commitment of our volunteers, and I repeat, volunteers, for both the temple festivals in the association and the temple, we have informed Ashwin to speak to those who have requisitioned to seek a 2-week extension of time. As of this moment, we are yet to hear from Ashwin. If we don't hear from him, or if they say no, then we will be forced to call for this EGM before the 9th of June. The temple hall, the temple festivities notwithstanding, we have to find an appropriate date and time. I say this so that not all of you understand the constraints within which we have to work, because there is a constitution and we'll do our best to follow it, right? But if they give us the extension of time until we ask for 2 weeks, if he gives us an extension of time, we'll work with him to figure out an appropriate date and we will call for that. Now, earlier today you would have seen Shanta present here in the hall distributing her document, which is the letter that was sent out to us, As she has now made it public, we will post this on the Scta website where we today have the AGM book and all the other earlier documents. We'll post this there as well, so that you all have sight and visibility before you attend this EGM when it's called for. But I apologize to you now if you receive it and we call for it at short notice, because such is the constraints under which we are working. Now, what are the issues that are being canvassed by these members? Now, I'm happy to stand corrected, but what I don't want to do today is debate these issues today. I just want to put it to you what I understand to be these issues. In substance, they want the outcome of the earlier EGM to be made null and void. They say there were irregularities. They claim that we have been hiding documents that were sent to us from MCCY, and that we only put forth one option and did not fairly ventilate the other possible options. Needless to say, we disagree. I ask that you look at these minutes that's found in this AGM booklet, and you will find statements that talk about the different options. You will also have to go back to the President's message that was sent out with the for the EGM, and in there we maintain that we have ventilated the other options as well. And we then made clear that it is our recommendation to set up the temple as a separate society. And we explain why it is important to give the temple legal entity status. We put up a chart showing what was happening in all the other temples or all registered charities, 15 of which are all registered societies. We have shared that information already. Nevertheless, we will respect the wish of these 21 members and will call for it, but I ask that we do not ventilate these issues today. We will have that EGM and we'll walk you through that once again, and we'll let the members decide. So this is my request to all of you. If you value the work that has been done till date by my team in the committee and Indran's team, and all you need to do is look around you, look across, value the work that we do with the new internal auditor, understand the issues that we are faced with when we start to depreciate assets we say that belong to the association, but under charities' accounts, and how that would look moving forward, and how we need to work on resolving that with proper guidance by an external auditor. It's a slow process. It has to be done. If you value that work, then please make an attempt to attend the EGM when we call for it. Do not absent yourself from these events. It is an interesting point to note that the person who called for the EGM, who put his name on it, neither attended the town hall or the EGM. So if you put a signature on a document, we say you must be prepared to stand up and be counted. We also say very clearly now, the person who is moving this motion to call for an EGM must be present at the EGM. Minimally, he must be present, and that motion has to be seconded by the people who have signed it. Not all, some does not matter to me. Right? But he has to be there, and someone has to second it for him, and we will run that EGM with all of you once again. And we also say to you, or I say to you, that if you undo the work, and I want to say this, and I say this as politely as I can. I've been on it for the last 3 years, working with 3 different groups, and then working with the guidance of the honorary legal advisor that was appointed by this House. And we put forth the proposal to you. If you undo this work, to the people who are calling for this EGM, you have to be prepared for the consequences of that, knowing that you have a Kumbhavisham coming up in February 2027, on February 11, 2027. And with that, I thank you. We look forward to seeing you all at the EGM when we call for it.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you. Test. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. We'll now move on to the next item on the agenda, which is standing orders. As a precursor to these standing orders, I'd just like to say that we fully intend to give all members time to speak on any issues they wish to address, especially in relation to the agenda for today. I will just urge the members to speak civilly and succinctly as possible. I'll read out the standing orders, and I'll seek a proposer and seconder for these standing orders. Item 1 on the standing orders. The objective of the standing orders is to ensure the smooth running of the annual general meeting. 2, every member shall cooperate and help the chairman conduct the meeting in a peaceful and orderly manner. 3, every member shall seek the permission of the chairman if he wishes to record the proceedings by any electronic means. 4, every member who wishes to speak shall stand, mention their name, and seek the prior permission of the chairman. 5, a member will only be granted a maximum of 3 minutes to speak on any subject. 6, every member shall confine their observations to the subject under discussion and may not introduce any matters irrelevant thereto, and will be allowed to speak for only 3 minutes. It shall be out of order to use offensive and insulting language about any member. 7, every member shall, with the permission of the chairman, be allowed to raise a point of order on an explanation of some material point in his speech if they think it has been misunderstood. 8, the chairman shall put an immediate stop to member speech on grounds of irrelevancies, repetition, unbecoming language, or behavior, and shall direct such a member to discontinue their speech. 9, the chairman's decision shall be, upon all questions or orders and matters in debate, shall be final and shall not be open for discussion. And lastly, 10, the chairman has the authority to request a member to leave the meeting on account that they disobey any of the provisions of the standing orders, or behaves in a disorderly or unbecoming manner, or is up to mischief. May I please get a proposer and a seconder for the standing orders? Yes, sir. Sorry, could I get your name? Satyarajan. Thank you, Mr. Satyarajan. Oh, sorry, Satyanathan. And a seconder? Thank you, Mrs. Isran. We'll move on to the confirmation of minutes. Now, I understand that the member has written in to raise some concerns or queries regarding the minutes. I think it would be appropriate to address them now, if the member thinks so, or we can wait until the end to address them in the resolutions. So, Mr. Shanta Rajasundram, would you prefer to address it now or at the end? If you don't mind, please speak into the microphone. Thank you.
Good afternoon, members and chairman, trustees. We have a major issue with this annual report. Okay. If you have the report, please refer to item 4 and item 11. Page 2 and page 3. Confirmation of minutes. only in the confirmation of minutes you have got a section called any other matters. The last item on the general meeting, number 11, to consider any resolutions, questions, or in relation to or other connected with any of the items of the agenda of this notice. You do not have an extra number called 12 for any other matters. It's a general meeting and all issues can be raised, any issue. So you have restricted everyone with item number 11 and item 4.2. We have gone through it too. We don't want to be troubling anybody, but we have to. At this point, which is quick and fast. Before Kumbhashan comes, anything comes, we just finish it off. Okay, in any other matters, there were lots of things that were discussed in the last AGM which was not minuted. And one of it, very important one, was the writing of the Constitution. Okay? We did not know where to raise it, but we had to raise it under the confirmation of minutes. So basically, this report cannot be used as a basis to conduct the rest of the meeting. But here we are flexible. Please do, as long as you know what you have done and what you can undo and how we move forward. Okay? So if you look at it, see, minutes is supposed to be who said what was said under what section and all that. Here, from last year, I remember from December 2023-24, I remember very specifically Dr. Via, she stood up and she said, get a panel of lawyers to sort this out, the Constitution. It is not minuted. As a member of the floor, what do I say to all this? We all have short memories, but this was one issue that I kept at the back of my head because it's getting young talent in and moving on. And after that, everything, it rolls on. Anything regarding the MCCY, anything regarding the constitutions has all been blocked. So in this essence, I rest on this. Adoption of this minutes is also not possible, but we are flexible. Please carry on and continue the 107th annual general meeting because we have got other resolutions inside. Okay? Thank you.
Okay, Shanta, thank you. The first point you raised about any other business, right? That there should be an item 11 that says any other business. I think item 12, there should be an item 12 that says any other business. I just want to highlight to everybody, I've just looked through the last two AGM booklets. We don't have such items in that agenda, right? But as Sri has already mentioned at the start of this meeting, we don't intend to hold anyone back to asking questions. We'll follow this order. And if this pertains to the minutes that we want to confirm, if there's anyone else that wants to speak about it, please do so that we can move ahead and confirm the minutes. Now, with respect to the amendment that I believe you're proposing on behalf of Dr. Via, we'll be happy to record that as an amendment like we did at the last AGM, when 3 members stood up to say, I said this, you did not record it. Please understand that in a meeting like this, with so many issues and comments made by everybody, it is not easy to capture everything in its totality and with accuracy. What I do know is that the same House, whether Dr. Via had said it or not, which I honestly can't recollect, but the same House, a resolution was passed to appoint Mr. Nirmalan Pillai as an honorary legal advisor. So that was properly recorded, because that was a decision of the House, right? But I invite Dr. Via to raise this as an amendment if she would like to do so, and we'll then record it accordingly. All right, okay, as Indian has suggested, if not today, please, within a week from today perhaps, drop us an email and tell us where, under in the minutes that we have done, at which point, which paragraph, you want this recorded as how you have said it. Give us the words, we'll put it in, right? And we're not going to then, reprint all of this. Please understand there were extensive amendments made for the last minutes, right? There were 10 pages that were printed additionally in this booklet. If it's just one amendment, we'll have one page and have that one page as amendments and note it down as an amendment recorded in these minutes when we produce the minutes for this particular AGM. I hope that is satisfactory.
Sorry, Mr. Nathan. Has asked to speak, sorry. I didn't have the microphone.
I'm very sad that we are going on the route of amendments and amendments. We can do better. At the point of speech, we transcribe it straight through. We do not have to go down with amendments and amendments and it's sheer waste of time. Water has flowed under the bridge. We have to go forward. So do not start this unconventional, impractical way of solving issues that we have missed out. Just note it down. Yes, put it in print. Any other matters? Okay, this issue has been raised and we put it to the next AGM. That's all we can do to help it out. Okay?
Thank you, Mr. Rajasundram. Yes, Mr. Arinathan.
Yeah, thank you very much. I see a change in the climate in this hall today. It's an excellent sign compared to the climate outside. Today's climate is excellent. And if this tone is maintained, it'll be good for the temple. And we are also on temple grounds now when we are talking. So let's all work together that way. Number one, I may make a suggestion which may not be linked to the particular item. I was wondering whether I suggest that the trustees also be brought on stage from next round. I'm quoting this because the other temples are doing it. If you can bring trustees up there, it'd be good. At least all of us know who are the trustees, and they can also add to certain things. That's number two. Number three, I think for this minutes, which ran 8 pages, and it ran from 3 o'clock to 8:30 p.m. It's pretty long. I don't know how the standing orders is going to help. Because the standing orders say 3 minutes for us to talk, but I'm able to talk today because you have given me the climate, right? The standing orders, I now bring on standing orders. It's very legalistic, which I've been saying. Can it be toned down to managing meeting protocol so that we don't get a fear when we come here, again law, right? Change to that. And most of the other temples, what they do, they just rattle as what Saravanan has said. Be kind, be this, be that, right? No one has come up with this standing order, which was created for years ago, I know. But try and see how we can, or if you still want the standing orders, please bring it back to the drawing board and see how you could make it more presentable, and it could be taking members into consideration as well. Now it looks like one-sided. I hope you understand. Huh? I think I raised this. I still prefer meeting protocol. Now, back to page 9, item number 5.2. What's the status of the title deeds, which was mentioned will be settled as soon as possible? Could you highlight on that?
So, pursuant to the 2 proposed constitutions, which we shared with the House, the documents have proposed the idea of a single set of trustees for both the Scta and the temple. These documents are now with MCCY. When we have confirmation of this, unless MCCY guides us otherwise and says, for instance, that no, the temple must have its own set of trustees, this then changes things for us. So we are waiting for that feedback from MCCY, after which we will be in a firmer position to determine or nominate. As you know, the current status is we have Professor Kuperan and Mr. Bala as our trustees on record as far as AGM is concerned, and then we have Mr. Sonaraja, who has expressed that he wishes to step down. And then conversely, we have, or at the same time, if you like, we have Dr. Lavaneeswaran as the only surviving trustee whose name is on the title deeds. So we need to regularize this.
Correct.
It has been an imperative, but we need to do this with the constitutions being sorted.
Yeah, but how are we going to address this as soon as possible? Because this matter was raised in 24. Are you going to give some updates on that, saying the MCY has directed certain...
As I said, because we are now dependent on MCCY approving the constitutions, giving us clarity on the trustees, as soon as that is done, we will be in a position to resolve this by appointing the requisite number of trustees at the next AGM, and then proceeding to resolve the title deed issue. Now, if members raise, like yourself and some others have signed and call for requisition another EGM, then we just move along with it, right? We will go with what you want.
No. I just want to know what, as soon as possible, have you all done anything? That's all.
Like I've explained, sir.
You have already explained? Okay, that's
Fine,
it.
okay. I've explained.
Don't add other things, just as soon as possible. The next question I have is about the 32 feet Vinayagar's, the money concern. You still have a balance. Have you brought it down from 239,000 to pay back to those donors? Because this is a area where the auditors may raise issues. We have sent 2 letters. What's the outcome now?
Okay, the 32 feet Vinayagar, if I can answer that. We
No,
have
it's
already
a
gone
page.
through. It's okay. We have gone through the process of informing all donors
Twice.
and they have, those who said that they want the money back have replied. We have returned those monies.
So what's
sorry?
What's the balance now?
I think it was 220.
Here is 239.
Correct. So the 239 was the balance. Before that it was higher. The 239 has been allowed to be used as general donation, which has been transferred to the compulsion fund. So this amount of money has been agreed by the sponsors or the donors to be used in the compulsion funds.
I take it that it would not be a audit issue in future.
It's not an audit issue because we have cleared it with this audit.
Okay, so long as there's clearance from them, well and good.
Yeah, it's done.
I'm sorry, members, I may be speaking a bit longer. The reason being, number one, some people may be thinking that I'm talking nonsense, but let me tell you that I was once a chairman of a temple, this temple. I was also treasurer of the Kumbhavisham Committee 2003. Number 3, I made other things whilst I was around. Okay, just for information. Yeah. Yes, I'm going through the agenda. Yeah. No check. I still got some more. I just want to let people know because they'll be thinking I'm talking too much. Yes.
Mr. Jayadura,
Yes,
I think
yes.
Mr. Ari, if you can finish up, please.
Yeah.
So the trustee issue cannot be settled now, right? Because you need to have the 3 trustees.
We need to have more direction from the constitutions, yes.
Right.
Mr. Ari, if I may just make a suggestion. If there are any questions related to the temple operations or the financial statements, could we cover them under items 5 and 6?
Okay, so I've settled my part.
Okay, thank you, sir. If there are no other matters regarding the confirmation of minutes, may I get a proposal? Sorry, Mr. Dinikaran. Yes, sir.
Dinakaran here. I would like to object to the adoption of the minutes. And I think the committee knows a letter has been written by Jayaseelan on the minutes. there was no knowledge from me that I knew the police report was made on the matter. I never said that. Secondly, if you want to rake up this matter, I think it can be only finalized by the CPIB. And I think the learned lawyer knows that if he has come to know that by another law firm that there was fraud, it is a duty to report it to the CPIB.
Sorry, sir, could I get a confirmation of which part of the minutes you're referring to?
The confusion that I made some allegations or some statements knowing the whole, I never said any word of knowing the police report has been made.
I believe you're referring to item 5.1. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
And then I still would like to know
17.
who was the qualified person who said there was no fraud, because I would like to proceed the matter if the committee wants to proceed the matter. If they want to take up a challenge, I'm willing to take up the challenge, because we don't want false things happening in the temple, and the house can close a false matter. The house is not above the law. You may be a learned lawyer, but I keep studying this matter, and I'm going to the bottom of it if you want to go to the bottom of it.
So if I could just clarify what you're asking for. So
And
are
I'm
you
willing
asking
to
us
come up for any discussion at any time.
Okay, we'll take it.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. We'll clarify this with you offline regarding item 5.1.1 and your awareness on the police report that has been lodged. Are there any other concerns about the 106th or the amended 105th AGM minutes? If there are none, I'd like to request for proposer and seconder. Mr. Somanisan is the proposer, and Mr. Satyanathan is the seconder. Thank you. We'll now move to the confirmation and adoption for the annual report for the SCTA, Singapore Swan Tamil Association, and the Sri Sembagam Vinayagar Temple for the year ended 31st December. And to confirm and adopt, yes. So, are there any queries or matters arising from this portion of the AGM regarding the annual report for the two institutions? If there are none, I'd like to invite a proposer and seconder for this. Mr. Yogisuran, thank you. And seconder? Mr. Sisran, thank you. Thanks. Moving along, we'll go to the confirmation of statement accounts. Allow me to read out everything in full. So to receive and consider matters arising on the audited statement of accounts for the SCTA for the year ended 31st December, and to adopt the audited statement of accounts of the SCTA for the year ended 31st December, as well as to receive and consider matters arising on the audited statement of accounts of the Sri Sembagam Vinayagar Temple for the year ended 31st December, and to adopt the audited statement of accounts for the temple and for the year ended 31st December 2024. If there are any concerns on the audited financial statements of the two organizations, please feel free to speak on those matters now. Yes, sir.
Hi, good afternoon, Chairman, Secretary, and all. My name is Sivanesan, life member of the association. I got a few queries that I want to raise. One is, when the external auditors did the financial report, financial audit of both the association and the temple, were there any MLs, or what I'll call ML is management letter, which are points of internal control weaknesses that usually auditors of a certain caliber would raise? I mean, that's the reason, one of the reasons, besides complying with the KPMG report from the MCCY, to also look at whether it can be elevated to not just looking at the financial numbers, but the controls that evolve around it, and whether the external auditors had raised this, and having had experience as an external auditor, we do raise this thing called ML, or management letters, which is a separate document, and if so, appreciate it if the treasurer or the committee can share what these main areas are, so that we all are aware, just for knowledge, and we all work together to improve the controls within the association and the temple. That's my first point. Second is on the goal that, on the goal that is used for the deities. I have a few sub-questions on that. One is, how is it controlled in the safe? Is it dual control? And what are the positions of the two persons that hold the dual control? Second,
maybe we answer that first. Easier, I forget what you asked.
Oh, you mean the first question? Okay.
First question is basic. We are looking for the document for the management thing. Looking at it, I think it was quite simple stuff. But we promised to get it done by this audited account. So it's nothing which is outstanding, which is not consistent. It's just basically some issues which they found out. I'll try to dig it up, but if not, I'll give it to you personally later on.
Okay, it's good to share with all the members. They all know at least the level of controls and the level of gaps that are there. Yeah.
On the issue of the gold, I forgot what you asked me now. Who's the controlling person? There's a dual lock system. One has a key, basically the safe has a key and a number lock. Only two people know the number, which is myself and the treasurer. Only one person holds the key, which is the manager. So and the safe happens to be within the sanctum. So to get into the sanctum, we need the pandaram or the priest to open or let us in. So myself or the treasurer will get the key from the manager. We'll go down to the sanctum. We get the priest to come in to collect the stuff. We open it up, we pass it to him. We lock the door, we record what was taken, and then we lock the safe, and then we give back the key to the manager. So the number lock is only operated by myself and Gobi, who's the treasurer.
Can I just check whether the number lock has been changed since the last committee, because different people have been given access?
The thing is, there's only two people who knows the number lock system, except for the last treasurer and last president. So to change the number lock system, we don't want to change it every 3 months, because one fine day we're going to have a Saturday the next morning and we'll forget what the number lock was. The new building which we have got now is going to be a double door with a number lock system to open the room and subsequently have a safe within it. So again, we'll have a kind of
dual control,
dual or triple control. So that will be taken care of, but that will take me about 2-3 months, but we'll be shifting away from the present system. Yes.
I recommend whenever there's a change in the chairman and the secretary or the second person, the two persons who know the number lock, it be changed each time there's a new person, incumbent that's coming in. Not every 3 months, but every time there's a new person coming in to take that role. Next point is when the gold is taken out from the safe and it goes to the sanctum, and of course the priest takes over. Is there proper checks, and how is it done? The checks of making sure that the correct number is there, and when it's collected after the event and put back in the safe, is there a reconciliation to ensure that the correct amount of gold and whatever accessories are all there and accurately reconciled before it goes back to the safe and then sign off with a proper document?
So what happens is when the next day is a particular festival, say Sadurti or something, there's a certain number of pieces which he takes out, which is consistent every time. He will take it out and he will record in his notebook what he has taken. So we agree on it to say that yes, this is what you took, 10 pieces or 12 pieces, or how many chains or how many crowns or whatever it is. He then locks it up and he uses it for the day, whatever it is. The next morning or that night itself, we will check what we have given and then we put it back. So it's handing taking over is there, yes.
And with proper SOP and reconciliation over it? Yeah. Okay. And I hope it's all documented in a proper document and not just a simple notebook or something of a loose thing.
It's a system which we have been using, and basically it is not that we are changing the usage so often. We have a system, we know for Saturday only certain numbers go out. The big one only comes in when we have Terola, then we know we will hand over 42 pieces, so we know those kind of numbers. So when we put it back, we will again check and ensure that we have got all the 42 numbers or the 16 numbers.
And when it goes back to the safe, is there again two persons looking at it? And
Say again?
when it's returned to the safe, when it goes back to the safe, at the end of the day or at the end of the trivela, is there again two persons looking at it to ensure that the correct items go inside?
I mean, the priest and myself, or priest and Gobi. I mean, I can't be having another committee member coming and then just to look at it, because if I'm going to get two people to hand over, then I need two people to take over again. So at the moment, it is a certain group of people. So we must have some trust in the treasurer and the chairman to be able to hand over and take over this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, what I mean is not just depending on the priest, the treasurer and the chairman. Yeah.
Either one of us, yes. I mean, we can only open the safe to put it back. So I will have to have a check before I put it into the safe. I can't, I mean, the safe cannot be opened by the priest or whoever. And the key is held with the manager. So he also cannot, he won't give the key to the manager.
My point is, when it's returned by the priest, that it goes back accurately into the safe with checks by the committee. I mean, I of course have trust in the committee.
Correct.
The committee,
it's checked by me or Gobi. Whoever has taken it out will normally put it back. So if that day I'm the one who is taking it out, the next day or the day after, when I come back to put it back, I'll be the one to put it back. Unless Gobi is, I mean, I'm not free or Gobi is not, whatever it is, but we always be the one who put it and take out. Yes.
Third is there any insurance taken when the gold is in transit, that means out of the safe and before it comes back into the safe? Is there any insurance taken on the gold to mitigate the risk?
I'm curious about this transit. That means when it takes out of the safe, it goes to the sanctum or the Alangara Mandapam or something, right? It's within the premises, is covered. That's transit, if that's what you're saying, transit. But if you tell me, is it covered when you take it out to repair? I don't know, I'm not sure, I don't think so, but we don't do that anyway.
Okay, my main concern is within the premise.
Within the premises is like my wife who takes it out of the safe and wears it to a wedding, and she sits in the coffee table downstairs. That's transit to me. So it's covered as long as it's in the premises. If somebody comes in and knocks you out and pulls the chain away, that's theft. That's housebreaking, whatever.
No, I mentioned quite clearly that we didn't, after taking out from the safe and it's out of the safe.
Same thing, after taking out from the safe from the house and you bring it down to the coffee table.
No, not out, I'm talking about within the temple.
The same thing. Within a property is covered.
Okay. And last question is, when was the last valuation done for the gold that shows that the value of it is up to date and based on current market value?
There has been no valuation of the gold pieces. I think the valuation was done quite some time ago because the value of gold in the last year has gone up tremendously. However, we have a record of every item that's in the safe, every one of them, even a small mukuti or a earring. All has been taken photographs of, all have been given a serial number, and so as a result of which, we do not have a valuation, because valuation means you're taking it to the gold, whatever, smith or whoever is going to value it. And a lot of these things cannot be valued straightforward because they are stones, they are stuff, which is going to be tough. But every time we do an audit check, like Crow had an audit check, we have to show him all the items, which is in the safe, all that's in the record books, and he has to sign off to say that he has checked. And that has been done at least in the 2 years that I've been here, by Crow and by A2.
I'd like to minutes or have it minuted that I feel that at least once every 2 years there should be a proper valuation done, just like in anything else, and any other organization which is of world class, and also to ensure, I mean, I know I've heard you, Dr. Indra, but to ensure that the insurance covers between the safe to the sanctum and back to the safe, just to ensure that. I'd just like to have that minuted, please. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Gold is an important area, and I think it's good that you pick up the good points from the South Bridge Road Temple. If you Google, you can find out the details of what has happened there. Not 1%, the way it was done. Number two, as to the transit, which he has just mentioned, transit from the safe to the sanctum, it's wise that you check with the insurance companies whether is well covered just because it's within. Because another temple is now looking into it for, from the safe to the sanctum for coverage. Thank you.
Thank you. I've checked that with the insurance guy, and it's covered. So that's what I know. So anyway, I will relook at it, and we will find out what's happening.
Please, and if you have a good SOP for gold, the auditors won't have a chance to query you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Arinathan.
Yes, Sundar?
Yes, Mr. Sundar.
I was looking at the last AGM minutes, and I believe Dr. Sivanesan was appointed the temple internal auditor. Did the temple engage him?
Put it this way, right? I think internal auditors are free to come in at any time, giving us maybe a day notice to say that tomorrow afternoon I'll be there, so that we can prepare the documents that he wants to check. So, I mean,
so he did not engage you all?
At the moment, no.
I'm sorry, but Dr. Sivanesan, I think this, as the internal auditor, you should have applied it during the term, and maybe could have given the suggestions during your term. Thank you.
Can I just correct what was stated by the previous gentleman? The onus is, anyway, first and foremost, I have reached out to the association to ask to have the accounts audited several times, but particularly Mr. Apunnadan, who referred me to Mr. Ramesh, and I've asked him a few times. It's all in writing, I've asked. I've not been given any update whatsoever of when, and the prerogative is on the organization to tell me when they're ready. Then they give me a window period. Then I have to give a notice period of when I want to come, at least a 10-day or a notice period, and I make my presence. But nothing was told to me, no contact whatsoever. So just to correct and put things to perspective, I tried my best. I gave it in writing, but there was no response from the association.
Dr. Dunya.
Is there anything in writing?
Right, I've gone through the constitution. Frankly, when you appoint somebody, the temple should have called them for a meeting to see both him and the other person to discuss the procedures or whatever you all have in mind before they can leap forward. Have you done any, have you given any letter, have you had a meeting with Sam? Now it gives me the impression during KPMG's time, did the internal auditors do their work?
Thank you for clarifying, Mr. Nielsen. I think we need to go and review the correspondence, then we'll come back to you. Not to take time from the House.
As far as I'm concerned, as chairman of the temple, I don't believe I've had anything written to us. I think there was a call to my vice chairman, I think, sometime last month to say that he wanted to do an audit. Anyway, we will look at the documents again, and if there is a need to put everybody down together and sit, we have no qualms about it. We have nothing to hide. Okay?
Okay. Are there any other questions regarding the financial statements? If there are none, I'd like to request for a proposer and seconder for item 5 first, the adoption of the annual report for both the SSVT and the temple. Okay, thank you, Mr. Satyanathan. Oh, sorry, my apologies. We covered item 7, sorry. Item 5, sorry. So it's item 6, adoption of the audited statements of account for SCTA and Temple for the year ended 31st December 2024. So Mr. Satyanathan is the proposer.
Sorry, can I just ask one quick question?
Oh, sure.
I apologize, which I forgot. The statement of page 59, just to lead all members through to my query. Page 59, statement of comprehensive income for SCTA. And I see that there's quite a huge substantial fall in total income from music class income and membership subscription, of course, went up, but particularly the music class income dropped quite substantially. Just want to know the causes and what are the rectification actions that are taken by the committee to pull it back up to its 2023 levels or higher than that. Thank you.
Just to highlight what Mr. Stevenson is asking, there's a drop of $10,000 of income from music class from between 2023 to 2024. So from 107,000 to 97,000.
So at present, the MDA program is managed by the Scta Management Committee, and we have a new person that is taking charge of this program. She has, in the last few months, we have noticed a slight increase in student uptake coming from students who are living in this neighborhood primarily. We have, as usual, issues with teachers who believe that they're paying a huge percentage of the fees to the temple, and they're looking to renegotiate, and when there are better opportunities elsewhere, they come and go. So it is a challenge, right? But with this person dedicated to looking after the MDA program, we are seeing some consistency and proactive efforts on the part to advertise, right, the different music classes that we conduct. We conduct this from every day, I believe, except Sundays, for 6 days a week, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah? The drop that you see, is, as Saravanan has pointed out, is from 2023, from 107 to 97. So it's a $10,000 drop in income. Yeah. This could possibly be explained by a few students just leaving suddenly. Some of them, most of them are actually foreigners living in this neighborhood, and when they go on to do further studies, they may leave the program altogether because they're going elsewhere to pursue their studies. That's also quite a common occurrence in the classroom. Yeah?
If there are no other questions, we'll...
Sorry, can I just check how are we going to mitigate this in future? I mean, that part of it.
Let me ask my committee member who is much more au fait with this. Pratibha, can you perhaps explain to the House, the MDA school, and some of the challenge? Can we just get Pratibha first to speak, to respond to Mr. Sivanesan's query?
Hello, I'm Pratibha. I'm a committee member in charge of the Music and Dance Academy. Now, we did see a drop in students, and that is also because of following COVID, there were a lot of parents moving back. We have a lot of foreign students, foreigners, and I think the parents' work permit was not renewed. And also there was a transition in a lot of teachers. But recently, if you look the last few months, the numbers have gone up. And our fee collection has also increased, and we hope to keep increasing it. And if you notice, we have been advertising aggressively recently, and we have also done a lot of performances. If you know, recently there's a whole bunch of performances that MDA is going out, and we are also trying to reach out to get more teachers, more qualified teachers, and hope to increase our student membership, and also bring in more of our temple members' children into MDA as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Pratibha.
Thank you, Pratibha. Mr. Srinivasan, anything else you'd like to ask? Okay, Mr. Dinokaran.
It is very, very difficult, I know, for the management committee to run today, in these days. The management committees of the past were staying around the temple and full of passion. But now we have a few people who have parachuted in because they are good lawyers and good doctors. They can run temples well, and it wouldn't work that way. I would like to share a little of my knowledge being in this temple for more than 60 years. We should get a passionate treasurer. The first three positions in the temple is the president, the vice president, and then the treasurer. So please find a great treasurer who has a passion and respected as a treasurer. In most of the successful temples, the treasurer looks after the gold. participates in a taking in and taking out of the gold. And when it is not necessary for him to be there, he makes sure somebody trustworthy person is there. Treasurer's position is one of the most important positions in the temple. KPMG cannot do much on this. The treasurer that you have chosen in your committee to look after the temple must be one of the important positions. And I please request you to use that principle to find the best good treasurers. And then coming back to the position of committee members, tell them they are not owners, they are volunteers. They must help to run the temple. Hardly many volunteers from the Scta or from the temple are in the temple, come to the temple. 7 months, the cobram light is not burning. I told the manager, please get permission to allow me to do it. I'll get a man to come and do it. I'll pay for it. A cobram is a very, very, very important part of the entrance of the temple when you come. It's very sad to see a blank cobram. Secondly, now I just want to ask, as a matter of interest that I'm here, after the Vairavar Puja in the night, they used to give a small teaspoon of milk. They've taken it away and they're offering payasam for that. Many of the devotees are diabetics or old people. 1 teaspoon of milk you give them after the Vairavar Puja, I don't think would bite into the finances. So just please reconsider this and you can put it back. It will be a good thing. The old people, many of them, I am one of them who stay for the last puja, and that's where we found this. Because we are discussing many things, but I don't see many people come to the temple, nor are they discussing temple issues. The temple is the stronger part of the CTA. Thank you.
Thank you, Uncle. Yes, Mr. Satyanandan. I'll summarize what you're saying.
And I also like the committee of the temple. I think as members coming to AGM, we must respect the members who voted committee in, right? And not come to this meeting and criticize any committee member by designation, talk of passion. Passion is something abstract. Right? When a professor in medical, he cannot find out what is the passion level, right? So I think we have to be really careful with our words, especially when you are very seated in experience, right? Easy to criticize, but difficult to volunteer, stand for elections, and serve the committee. So I am telling you, as a member, as a white member, I have seen this committee in action. Since they came in, the best I've seen.
Thank you very much, sir. I think I appreciate what has been done. Can you hear the end? Yeah, I really appreciate what has been said. I think if you tell me my treasurer has got no passion, I will take you to task. If you tell me he hasn't come to the temple, I'll take you to task. Okay, because the temple is not only the temple as itself, it's the Cyber Samya School, the wedding and the temple, everything works together. Correct? And if you tell me that my treasurer has got no passion, I will take you to task, because I don't believe that's right. If you tell me the Rajagopuram light has not been burning, we know. We intentionally do it, we stopped repairing it, we repaired it twice. It cost us money, but it's short-circuited. Why it's short-circuited? We are redoing the wiring for the whole temple. The whole temple is going to be rewired. So as a result of which, I'd rather do it once and for all and get it right. Now, in the next couple of months, maybe not even a couple of months, maybe less than a month, the temple is going to be renovated. Get the rewiring done. And luckily we have a passionate volunteer in the system who is going to give it to us at no cost. Wiring, manpower, all no cost. Material he's going to charge us. That saves us a lot of money. But if you tell me these guys have got no passion, they will not be here. And please, I'm agreeable to problems if solutions are there. And agreeable to solutions if you're one of the persons who can solve it for us. I can ask 100 questions. If I can put my neck down for 99, I'm doing my job. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like us to move ahead now. If there's no other further questions, I'd like us to confirm and adopt the auditor statement accounts of the SCTA and SSVT. May I have a proposer, please? Mr. Jedure, thank you. Can I have a seconder? Mr. Satyanathan again. Thank you, sir. We're moving on to item 7 out of 11 of the agenda. And that is to cover to elect 9 members into the management committee. Oh, sorry. It's my first time, forgive me. So we took it as the SCTA accounts. Now I'd like us to confirm and adopt the auditor statement of accounts of the temple. May I have a proposer, please? Sorry, guys. Yeah, and seconder, please. Pranavan, yeah. Can I have a seconder?
Sorry, seconder? Do you have a seconder?
Mr. Ganesan, then. Thank you. So we'll now move ahead to the election of the 9 members into the management committee of the SCTA for the year 2026. Now, before moving into that, I propose that we recognize those who have served in the current committee, and many of those that will still continue to serve in the next committee. I'd just like to take a moment to mention their names. Some of you may or may not know them. The current committee comprises of Mr. Asoka Markanda as the President, Vice Presidents Mr. Ravi Chandran and Mr. Somanesan, myself as the General Secretary, Assistant Secretary is Ms. Tavamani, Mr. Sundar is the Treasurer, and Mr. Surendran is the Assistant Treasurer. Mr. Aparnathan is a committee member. Ms. Pratibha Rajendran, who just spoke, is the Cultural Secretary. Public Secretary is Mr. T. Shanmugaratnam. Mr. Sivaraja Sivakolanda is the Education Secretary. Mrs. Scta Manoharan is the Social and Welfare Secretary. The remaining committee members are Mr. Rajamohan, Mr. Kularaj, Mrs. Shakuntala, and Mrs. Ambalavana Lograni. Now, not all of them are going to continue, but I'd like us to just take a moment to give them a round of applause for their service for the past year. So those not continuing for the coming year, Mr. Sivaraja, Mr. Rajamohan, and Mr. Kularaj, and Mr. Aparnathan. So we thank them for their service thus far. Apologies, the slide is wrong here. This is SSVT Management Committee. We won't mention who is standing for election or not because there's no election under the current constitution, but they will reconstitute together with us going into the next coming year. So the current committee is headed by, of course, Dr. Indra Yogan, and his vice chairman is Mr. Ramesh, and his secretary and honorary secretary is Mr. Sivasubramaniam Mayudan, who has just unfortunately passed away, and we honored him earlier. Mr. Kabilan is the deputy secretary, and Mr. Rajkant is the assistant secretary. Gobi is our honorary treasurer, and Mr. Murugamurthy Balasingham is the assistant treasurer. Dr. Sabodhani is the committee member in charge of the Cyber Samia School. Mr. G. Deepan is the committee member in charge of cultural matters. And the individual representatives for Siglap is Mrs. Pranathan, who we all know very well. Ms. Nageswari is the representative for Bukit Timah. Mr. Karunesan is the representative for Serangoon Gardens. Mr. Pranavan is the Paya Lebar rep. Mr. Jaykant is the Sembuang rep. And Mr. Nathanan is the Queenstown rep. Can we have a round of applause for all of them, please? So moving ahead to the matter at hand, item 7, to elect 9 members into the management committee. As you can see, we have 7 individuals who have stepped into the new committee for the SCTA, a number of people who are stepping down and coming back in, and 2 new members. So the first is Mr. Asoka Markanda, who will hopefully carry on as president. Second is Mr. T. Shanmugaratnam. Third is Mr. S. Somanesan. Fourth is Mr. Sukularaj Sundaresan. And fifth is Ms. Sushita Manoharan. The 2 new members joining the SCTA committee are Dr. Vidya Dashni Pillai and Ms. Kalivani Ganesandan. As there's no competition, I guess, for the roles, they'll all be nominated in without contest. Okay. We'll now move to appoint the external auditor for the year 2026. Do you want to take over?
Okay, so the committee is working with, as I've explained to you, we are working with Crowe Horwath. They have worked with us in the last year. We have commenced the discussion with them, and continuity with them is the right thing to do for them to complete the financial accounts of 2025. One of the outcomes we would hope to get from them is guidance on how to regularize the accounts so that there is clarity based on ownership of assets and so on and so forth. So the proposal of the committee, of this committee, is to appoint Crowe Horwath as the external auditors for the coming year. All right, can I have somebody to, Mrs. Iswaran and Mr. Ganesandan. Thank you.
Thank you. We move on to appointment of the internal auditor for the year 2026 for the CTA.
Sorry, in respect to the internal auditors, there is a gentleman who has been volunteering with the temple, or has volunteered with the temple previously in the past. His name is Ravindran Sambasivam. He is unable to attend the meeting today. We spoke to him yesterday, both Indran and I spoke to him. He's someone with some history around 2022, 23, around that period of time. And then he left the temple management committee. He has indicated that he is prepared to be the internal auditor. We have expressed to him that we need someone to, if you like, be the liaison between Crowe Horwath and the temple as we walk through and resolve some of the outstanding issues. One of the points that Sivanesan made is about the management letter, right? And there were 2 or 3 items that were raised in the management letter, which we'll share with him after this meeting, and we're asking the internal auditors to help do that for us. So we would like to nominate him, although he's not present, we are confirmed, Indran and I can confirm he's accepted it. We would like to nominate Ravindran Sambasivam as an internal auditor. Can I, Mr. Satyanathan, I have a proposal, Mr. Ganesandan, thank you. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, just a point to ponder. It's good to have auditors who are like passionate or have done it before, but more importantly, the competency and the ability to look at controls, look at what he or she can perform the internal audit effectively. Rather than, with all due respect, rather than some members who are specialized in some other areas, but not probably in audit, and they are just pulled in to do internal audit. So it's be something functional, something that is effective in able to raise the pertinent issues and resolve it together with management and the external auditors. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I think the reason why we talked to Ravi was because he was the liaison between KPMG during the period of time when he had all these issues, the governance issues. He was handling most of the issues with them. So I think he has got a good background of what was agreed or disagreed or said or not said. That's number one. Moving forward, I think we need to clear the KPMG report as well as to tighten whatever we have within the temple premises, so the SOPs. So I think he has got that knowledge and he has got that background, and he's also been able to show that in the last couple of years. Yeah.
Do you have a problem getting internal auditors with the expertise, or do you want to consider outsourcing that function?
I would rather have an internal auditor who knows the temple's procedures, who is able to do it, as well as got some background knowledge of the system. I mean, getting a third person from, say, XYZ auditor company is going to be left with us teaching them what is the process of a temple. The process of a temple is very much different from a corporate system. Now, it does not mean that we are not following the corporate system. What we are trying to look at is a system where we are agreeable that the process of which we are doing things are in a systematic manner, and if there's any loopholes, how to plug them. So we are going to have members to be internal auditors, which has been a practice.
The auditing function is getting more and more complicated with time. If your external auditors are also facing the same problem when they come and do the work here, and your internal auditors, even if he has experience, has he got the right experience, the relevant experience now? And that is why I'm suggesting internal audit, the outsourcing function, which the committee can deliberate.
Okay, we'll look into that. Yeah. We need one more internal auditor. Yes, sir.
My personal view or opine that I think it should be the internal auditor should be organically coming from the system, the culture, and the organization, and from the membership base. But of course, having said that, someone who has got the competency and ability to carry out the job well, rather than someone outsourced who I'm not sure whether it will be a bit too cold from our operations and thus may not be able to function well as an internal audit. Better to have someone organically from the organization.
Thank you.
Right, good to have internal, but if you find difficulty in getting internal people, then no choice, you have to resort to external. I'm just making a suggestion, nothing more.
Understand. Thank you very much.
Wait. Just now, can I sidetrack to another point?
Sorry, sir, we'd like to follow the agenda. Maybe under any other matters? Thank you, sir. No, okay.
Yeah, we need another internal auditor. Loga, ask Loga. Anybody wants to volunteer or is he capable of doing the job? Mr. Satyanathan.
To be the internal auditor.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Just a round of applause for him. Thank you.
Sorry, can you have a proposer and seconder, please? Mr. Satyanathan, okay, Mrs. Isuran and Mr. Kanisan. Thank you.
So I'd just like to make a correction earlier. My sincere apologies, we missed out one name on the new management committee members. There's also a gentleman named Mr. Mahalingam Katis Kumar. We did receive his nomination form, so he'll also join the 7 here to join us in the new committee. Thank you. We will minute it accordingly. Now, as we move along, I'd like to invite Dr. Indra Yogan to present the plans for the Kumbh Ashram.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me? Good. Okay, I'm just going to talk to you about the plans for the Kumbh Ashram, which is going to happen on the 11th of February in 2027. And prior to that, we have got a lot of work to be done. We only have got less than 6 months. We should get everything up and running by December, early January, and then after that is all the other pujas and everything must come in. Okay, first thing first, for the temple, we're going to have Kodiyata Tirula, which is going to happen on the 22nd of May, and it's going to go on till the 1st of June. Immediately after the 1st of June, we have a Balastavanam. Okay, the intention here is to save some costs by the priests who are coming for the Kodiyata Tirula. We are going to hijack them for another couple of days and allow them to do the Balastavanam because we need more priests. We don't want to delay this and then bring another set of 6 priests just to do this. So we double handle with the Balastavanam, sorry, the Mahotsavam and the Balastavanam. So on the 7th of June, please keep yourselves free. Around 7 o'clock in the morning, the Balastavanam should be done. By 8:30, it should be completed. Prior to that, on the 5th, 6th, and 7th, we'll be having all the pujas, the Yagasala pujas, for the Balastavanam process. Subsequently, we'll be doing all the painting and the renovation works, which start in the 1st of June, theoretically 1st of June, but has to be pushed to the 7th of June. Once that's completed, then we start to take out all the deities and stuff. Now, the mandapam itself, which is this building, you have seen what has been done at the 3rd floor and the 2nd floor. Now we have still the dining hall and the kitchen to be done. So that will be done during the period of July to October, which is Adi Masam to Pratasi, which has got no wedding booking. So we decided that that was the weak spot in the booking, so it's no use of keeping the mandapam The reason why we are not leaving because anybody who books the mandapam will book the dining hall. So if we use the dining hall, we cannot book the mandapam. So we just decided that Adi Masam would be the best time. And then, of course, around this structure, we have to do the painting of the walls itself. But that will happen maybe in October, November. Okay, just a brief of what's been completed to date. The Cyber Samir school rooms have been completed. It's functioning. This is another picture. The mandapam, which you are seated in now, is completed. The ancillary building is completed, awaiting maybe another 2 weeks for the staircase, which is a spiral staircase. If you have time, you can just walk around and you can see the spiral staircase being put up. So hopefully that is completed in about a week, and then we can apply for a temporary occupation permit, and should be done, hopefully, if not by end of May, maybe mid-June or early June, end June. So that is the completed building of the ancillary building. Now, final phase of the dining hall and the temple renovation. This is the final before the Kumbhabhishekam. First thing we're going to do is going to remodel the kitchen. Now, the kitchen itself, many of you may not have been into the kitchen, but with the Friday, Saturday and Sunday breakfast, lunch and dinner being offered, we actually need bigger burners, we need bigger space, but we don't have the space, to be honest. We don't have space. We've got to rearrange the locations. Another thing that we have allowed for is, if you look at the right-hand side, there is the dining table with seated. If you know, the guys know the kitchen, actually everybody sits on a chair and eats from a plate. I don't feel quite comfortable doing that, so I've introduced this dining table so that actually the priests can actually sit, eat, and then wash their plates and get out of the place, whatever it is. So that is a dining room within the system. The dining hall is going to be refurbished so that we have better lighting. The lighting is quite bad. Fans, and of course we hope that it can be air conditioned. Air conditioning means cost. Air conditioning means more expenses, but I think a lot of people have requested, and I'm looking at this room today to sponsor the air conditioning amount. I'll give you the numbers later. In addition to that, the ceiling and there'll be air conditioning plus fans. So the fans will be used during the normal day-to-day, whatever Saduti or pujas which will happen. That'll be just. But if you want to book the wedding hall, then there'll be an extra charge to book the dining hall as well. If you want the aircon. If you don't want the aircon, then it's just wedding hall charge. So this is what is planned to be done. Sorry. The Rajagopuram, we are going to repaint it. We're going to add another 40 statues. Hopefully, we can populate it a bit. It looks a bit empty at the moment. We have about 178, I think. I think the target was 220. So we hopefully can hit that target. The Sabadiyas have to come in and have a look at the locations where they can fit in deities or murals. We are going to paint all the murals. You know, our temple has, although it's a single color on the outside, the internal has got a lot of paintings which are very meaningful. So painting of all the murals, sanctum doors, which are going to be in silver paneled. We are going to enlarge the Dachana Murti, Lingodbhavar and Durga sanctum. A lot of Archana and Pujas are coming for Dachana Murti and Durga. So we think that we should extend it a bit so that people can actually do a proper, rather than stand at the slope. The Lingodbhavar we have a very large puja during the Sivaratri process where Lingodbhavar gets his Abhishekam and stuff, which cannot be done properly now because it's quite embedded into the building. So we're going to change that. We're going to get a new Panjamur sanctum. The Panjamur sanctum is basically, Panjamur himself is basically a Raja Muhurtam. Raja Muhurtam is the form of a king. And there are only 4 or 5 Raja Muhurtams. One is Somaskandar Nadarajar, which has got his own sanctum. Arumuga Swami, of course, has got his normal, in temples which have got, Arumuga Swami will have his own sanctum. So Panjamur also must have his own sanctum. So we are trying to create a own simple sanctum for him. So he stands alone and he has his own house, so to speak. So at the moment, we have the doors. You can see the doors, which are basically wooden doors and varnished. We hope to keep them in silver. Okay, we have got enough sponsors for this. But the way the price of silver is going, I think we need to track and we need to buy the silver as soon as possible. Okay, this is the Panjamur sanctum, which is going to be placed. Okay, the location, left, right, front, back is going to be decided with the Sabadiyar and the priest, but location-wise is more or less kind of fixed. That's going to come out. Okay, just to give you a background of this, before we actually decided that this Panjamur sanctum was to be shifted, we actually asked permission. We did puja in last year's Vinayagar Sashti. We asked him the permission whether he wants to stay in the Sanctum Sanctorum, which is the Vasana Mandapam now, or whether he wants to come out. He gave us permission to move him. So that is the reason why we are moving him. We are not decided like, okay, let's get him out of the place and vacate his house. We have done it in a proper systematic manner. It's all recorded. It was done on Vinayagar Sashti last year. These are the three sanctums which will be extended. The Durga on the right, Lingotbhavar at the back, and the Dakshinamurti. We have taken the liberty of starting our Vahanam works because that will take us 6 to 8 months. So we didn't want to delay and we have started. So this is the Mushigam which is being done in India. Now the Mushigam himself, the one that we have in silver today, the wood has kind of rotted, and taking it out and repairing it is going to take us too much trouble, so we have decided to make a new wood. The wood doesn't cost much. The wood is 1,500 or something, but it's the silver plating which we'll reuse the silver which we have now, melt it and reuse it. So there's enough silver on that for the Vinayagar, for the Mushigam. We also started Vahanam for in Sri Lanka to give the traditional way of doing things which the Jaffna temples are used to. So we have started the Airavadam. Airavadam is an elephant, and the Rishabham, sorry, just slipped my mind. Okay. Okay, as you all will know that we have a tear at the moment which is being used normally on the 9th day of the Tiruvalla, which is a very stunted tear. The wood at the top is hollow now. It's plywood actually. It's not solid wood, so it's kind of, you knock it, you can find the hollowness. And we called the Sabadiyars to Singapore to check whether he can repair it. Now just to give you an idea, that tear was pulled in 2025, the 50th year. So that is the 50th anniversary of the tear being used. So it's quite a old tear. We don't want to lose it. So we'll modify it by making it a chaparam, which is something slightly different. But the tear, we decided that rather than modify this tear and make it, non-proportional, right? We decided that we'll make what is our normal Jaffna style tear. I think this tear is only in Jaffna that you can get it. Okay, so this tear has commenced work, but it will take maybe another 6 months to get it done, and hopefully we can get it by Kumbhavasham time. Now we're also looking at canopies around the temple. Now the canopy is one reason is to cover it. If you look at the old way the canopy was done, as basically the old tentage with a white canvas. I think we need to do slightly better. Maybe a glass canopy or something so that light can come in at the same time. You do not have rain and stuff. So canopy would be between the Ambar Sannadhi and the ancillary building. At the store area to keep the store. The green ones are basically to keep the Vahanams and the chariot. And behind the Mandapam at the, is this a place? Yeah. Here basically is tented, which is where nowadays sometimes you all park your cars behind the Mandapam to allow maybe when the caterers come in, sometimes they mess up the place and they can't do their, weddings, they like to have their hot station. So if it's raining outside, they bring the stuff in and then we mess up our floors. So we put up a shade outside and let them do anything they want to do outside. It's easier to wash out. So that is the intended location for the Ther and the Ravana. Ravana. Okay. So in terms of the combustion cost, I've kind of split it into a few things. One is the construction cost. Construction means the sabadiya with the art craftsmen, the woodwork, the silversmith, the goldsmith, which includes their flight, salaries, and levy. Now the cost of material, of course, you got silver, gold, paint, cement, bricks. Now the sabadiyas only give you manpower costs, and then we have to buy their flights. We have to pay for their levy. Their levies are not cheap. They cost about $900 per person. However, for temples, they're charging $750, but still, you get 10 guys, you got $75,000 burn every month, which is, sorry, $7,500 every month, which is tough. In the religious portion of the works, we have a religious committee working on that, the priests, the musicians, the oduas, the helpers, the flight, tachana, and others. And then you have the Kumbhausha logistics. Okay, the Kumbhausha logistics is the big part, which has got printing of cards, printing of books, printing of logistics, printing of all the flyers and stuff, the logistics, the tentage, the Annadanam, of course. We have a kind soul who has said that the Annadanam cost will be taken up, but however, we have got costs for tentage, we have got costs for tables, chairs and stuff. The Yagasala, the souvenirs, and then of course you have the auxiliary police and the marshals to ensure the safe transport of people to and from the Kumbhausha. So the big picture of the Kumbhausha costs, okay, I've broken it down into some numbers so that you can have an idea how we are spending the money. Okay, oops, wait, you must see the number. Okay, sorry. Sorry, technical issues here. Okay, so the Sabadi's cost, including his flight, his material, his payments and stuff, is about 700,000. The silver and gold works is about 1.75 million. The kitchen and dining has been broken up. If we just did the kitchen and the dining and no aircon works, is about 350,000. We do the AC works, it costs us another 100,000. Once we start to do the AC works, the AC itself costs us about 60,000, 57,000, 60,000. However, we need to do close-up of the windows and the doors so that the aircon doesn't run out. So that costs another $30,000, $40,000. Canopy around the temple, it costs us about 200,000, but that will be done only after Kumbhausha. So once the Kumbhausha is done, and we are clear with all the scaffolding and everything else, then we do the canopy. So that's after that, but I'm just putting in as the cost. The temple renovation works cost about $500,000. Sorry. And then you have the Kumbhausha day until the Mandalabhishekam complete, which is 48 days. So you need priests to come in for the Kumbhausha day, all their logistics, their veshti, their paraphernalia, their puja items, their kumbham, everything in, including yagasala, everything, costs about 1.1 million. And total, we're going to spend about 4.7. So this is the kind of number that we're looking at. Okay? So this is the breakdown of the cost of the Kumbhausha itself. Sorry. Should I come in earlier? I don't know. Okay? We can have Q&A now, or we can have it later. I'm leaving it to you. Okay? Sorry, who?
Could you take the mic, please, ma'am?
$1.75 million. Sabadi. Yeah. The Sabadi cost, right? Sabadi is about 700,000. Sabadi is all the craftsmen who come from India. We need 8 of them. So their contract sum plus minus about 150 to 200,000. workers, levy for 8 workers times 6 months times whatever, $750. So it works out to about 600 and something. Because these numbers are all rounded off, I can tell you that. Because I don't want to give you $627,345. It's not right. Okay, so these are just budgetary numbers. Sorry.
I'm not sure how you will factor in the rising costs. Use the mic.
Yeah, no, sorry. I agree with you. I completely agree with you. How we factor in the rising costs is hopefully...
I'm not sure whether you want to increase further because of the unexpected rising costs.
Understand.
If
Completely
you don't
understand.
factor in, then you're going to have a problem.
Correct. So I would like you, Mr. Harinathan, later to, when I ask for a budget, to put up your hand and say 5 million instead of 4.7. Later. I'll tell you when to put up your hand. Okay. As of today, as of 30th of April, the sum of money which has been put into the kitty is 3.75 million. So that has been collected and sealed. We have used about 1.96. Now 1.96 is because the upstairs and the downstairs works out to be about 750,000. The renovation of this floor and the upstairs about 750,000. We have spent about $1 million so far on the ancillary building. Ancillary building contract sum is about 1.1 million, but we have paid about 900,000. So we got about 180,000. Sorry, it's supposed to be somewhere. Okay, balance payable for ancillary, about 180,000 left to be paid, barring any surprises. In terms of, okay, this includes, of course, your consultancy fee and your whatever engineering fee, whatever it is. Now we have in the account, because you get 3.8 minus 1.96 or 2 million, you got about 1.8 in the account. So if you open our accounts today, we got about $1.813,000, something in that ballpark figure. These are all rounded off numbers. So after we pay off the ancillary building, which will be in the next couple of months, we should have about 1.6 million. That's in the bank for the consortium only. I'm not touching the accounts in the temple proper, the FD and all that yet. Okay? And I hope I don't have to, but so that's 1.6. The pledges to date, that means people have pledged 700,000, not paid. So I hope to get this money in the next, I have to chase them. I have another list of items which are not pledged. That means they are in the list of items to be sponsored, and I see about, I calculate there's about 1.03 million. So there's about $1 million. If everybody pledges all the items on the table, I should have another 1 million there. Funds that were needed is about 4.7. So with this amount of money, 2.3 plus 1, 3.3, I need to collect, forget about the pledged, assuming the pledges don't come in, or assuming the items not pledged still don't come in, I need to raise about $3 million, plus minus. Right? I see about $1 million in this room. You all laugh because your thing is 2, is it? 2 million, is it? Sorry, that's why I said it should be 2 million. Okay, so this is the number that we need to raise. We only have 6 months, and we have to move forward in this budget requirement. Yes, Srinivas.
Hi, Dr. Indra, is it possible, I mean, even though we may commit and give you the budget, whatever budget that you're asking for today, but is it possible to give more granulated information shared with all members as to how those numbers came in?
If you want,
now it's in a ballpark line item.
I mean,
appreciate if you can share with all members, not just me.
If you want to go through my Excel spreadsheet and see which Sivacharya is being paid how much, I can.
No, I mean, not really to that minute detail, but at least some granulated level for the line items.
I can.
I'm sure you know what I mean. Yeah. Thanks.
I can. I mean, all these numbers were not plucked from the air. Okay, I can tell you, for example, that the silver doors, when I budgeted it, it was at $1,200 a kilo. Okay, and I budgeted it at $1,500, assuming it's going to go up 15%. Today, the price of silver is $3,800. So you talk about rising cost, silver is just shot out the window. Gold from 88,000 has become 200,000 now. So, I mean, these are things, it's really out of control. This is not rising cost, this is other stuff. Rising cost, if you tell me a cement has gone up 5%, 10%, I mean, that's acceptable because of the war or whatever it is, but I don't know what's, anyway. So work still pending, and so my budget approval request is for 3.5 million to do the renovation. Total is 4.7, right? So I need 3.5 million for the renovation, and I'm budgeting about 1.5 for the combustion expense. Mr. Aryanathan, this is the time you put up your hand and say it should be 4 million and 3 million.
Error there.
Sorry?
Error in your extra zero.
Oh, okay, the 3.5 million should be 20. Sorry, yes.
I suggest that you increase because you're going to be caught by the increases.
Okay, fine. So 3.5 million, can we ask for 4 million?
Why not?
Thank you. And a 1.5 million, we can ask for 2 million. Okay, so if we can record it, can we have a proposal, please? Mr. Satyanathan, sorry, Mr. Arya?
You know, the thing is, you can raise it, but you're not touching the fixed deposit as yet, right?
If you give me the 3 million, I won't touch.
You won't touch, yeah?
You see, I need 3 million.
Yeah.
Okay? If somebody puts down the 3 million, the FD will not be touched.
No,
so I need to raise 3 million.
What I'm concerned now is even if I increase raise the amount, suddenly it becomes short again, and you don't have an AGM. Have you to go back to the house, or can you tap on the FD a certain amount?
At the moment, put it this way, at the moment I would like to think that we can try and get this done with this amount of money. However, if I really need a big budget, right, I got to give a reason as to why the budget overshot. Certain items maybe we didn't pick up during our budgeting, correct? So I think, to be fair, if it's a small amount, like 10% of the sum, I think we would like to have a vote of confidence that we can go 5 million plus 10%. You know, how much? 20%, fine. I'm very happy, no issues. So can we have a proposal for, what was it? 4 million plus overall 20%. 4 million plus 2 million, so 4 million plus 20%, 2 million plus 20%. So can I have a proposal, please? Seconder, Mr. Aryanathan.
Would he propose it?
Okay, he proposed it. Ken. Thank you. No. 3.5 times 1.2. No, 4 million times 1.2.
4 million times 1.2.
4.8. And then down, the other one is 2 times 1.2, 2.4. Okay, thank you very much for your confidence. Thank you. Okay, so now is a Q&A. If there's anything that you all are not, you're worried about or concerned about. Mr. Loga, yes.
Seventh of February is the second day of CNY.
11th of February.
7th February.
6, 7 is Chinese New Year.
Yeah, 6 is the first day, 7th February,
Correct,
second day.
Correct.
Some problems that we saw in Sri Sivan Temple was that they had foreseen that there will be a problem getting vegetables on the 6th day after Chinese New Year this year. That's why, you remember we were there, right? They did away with Annadhanam.
Correct.
Remember you were there?
But that was not the reason why they did away with Annadhanam.
Okay, I don't know what the reason,
I can tell you because I did the Annadhanam, and I know the reason why they did away with Annadhanam.
Yeah, okay.
They only gave packet food. The reason was not vegetables.
In our case, it's on the second day.
No, ours is on the 11th, it's on the 5th day. 11th
It's not the
of
7th February.
Did I get it wrong?
What day is it?
11 February
11 February,
2027.
okay. It's still about the same problem.
It's there. Yeah.
Okay, still about the same problem, but not so bad. Okay, thanks.
Yeah. No, I understand the problem. Arisa Kesari was not because of the vegetables, trust me. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Indrayogan. This one is, Doctor, you don't go through this one.
Oh, no. No, this was for my own knowledge.
Okay. We'll now move to the final item on the agenda. Consider any resolutions or questions in relation to or connected with any of the items on the agenda in this notice, which we shared at the front of the hall when you signed up. Just to highlight the deadline for the receipt of any of the questions or resolutions was midnight 13th of May, because it's mentioned before Thursday 14th of May. As a point to note, Mrs. Shanta Rajasundram's resolutions came in at 3:32 a.m. on the 14th of May. As I mentioned, we are fully, open to answering all these questions and resolutions. However, we'd like to get the House approval to do so, as we are deviating from our own set rules. If there are any objections to hearing of resolutions, please speak now. Okay, let's go through Mr. Ari Nathan's resolutions first, which are 6 in total. And when we get to Mr. Shanta Rajasundram's resolutions, we will address the query I just raised. So, Mr. Ari Nathan, I've compiled all the resolutions into point form here. I would like to request that you stand up to speak on your resolutions, sir. We'll take it item by item.
I thought resolution 1 has been settled earlier.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, okay. Thank you.
The second resolution is about climate change. I think all of us know the climate problem, right? And what steps is the temple taking during this renovation to ensure how you could go along with the national policy? I know you have high ceilings. Temple has high ceilings, very good.
The temple itself has got no concern because it's very well ventilated. So there's no fans or no issues of that sort.
Good.
I think the issue is you're looking at is only the ancillary building and this mandapam, of course.
Yep.
So all our lights we have changed to LED sensor system. So you walk into the toilet, and if you sit in the toilet and you don't move more than once, the lights will go off. So all those things have been done. In terms of the ancillary buildings, same issues. All are sensor operated, and then the water fittings are as per NEA requirements.
Okay.
So that if not, we cannot get our approvals.
Right. Now go on to resolution 3. Now this is for the elderly and seniors. In line with the national policy, what are you all doing? But to start off by saying that your 2 railings in front of the temple are very shaky. Please tighten the railings in front.
The railings are okay. It's just
the hand railing
on that railing, which is a bit loose. We have tried to.
You try and do it because in case somebody falls from that.
Understand? We will do that.
This one I think we have touched also, resolution 4 about the transit of jewelry, right?
Yes, I think we'll move on.
If you can confirm it in writing with the insurance company, it'll be good.
Sure.
Okay, just now you can I now go on to just one side track? You appointed the internal auditor based on not his presence here, but based on the consent given by him over the phone. So that is an acceptable norm, because just now you did mention that Ashwin should be present during the EOGM. Are you going to create an exception there as well? Because we have 20 of us who will be talking, not 20.
No, I think that one it's a family issue which he couldn't come, and which we have agreed that he will do the internal audit.
Yeah, so
but it's not going to be an exception for the EOGM. The person who put up the letter should be here. I think to be fair, and he should know what is written.
Yeah, just to add that he was just representing the 20. So
somebody cannot represent the 20 if he doesn't know what he's talking about.
No, somebody has to sign. So one of them have to sign.
The person who has in your document, which you have 20 signatures. Hang on, let me finish.
Yeah.
The 20 signatures, you have stated very clearly at the top, if any SSVT/SCTA member talks to you, any of the signatories, to please call Mr. Nathan.
Yes.
And you put your number there.
So can I talk?
So you can be the signatory at that time, but you didn't choose to be for some reason. So my thing is, I think he has to be here, and that's a requirement.
No, what I'm trying to say, in his absence, somebody else cannot take over.
Sorry, I want to interject on this conversation here, Dr. Indran and also Mr. Ayanathan. We're here to discuss matters pertaining to the AGM.
So let's finish this.
Yes, so please let's address the matters pertaining to the AGM. It's an issue about the EGM. Please approach us separately. We can answer your questions.
One more point, final point, is about this AGM. You have appointed, I think you all are nominating 2 or 3 persons, SCTA nomination. You see a few of them have been absent for 6, 4 or 5 times your monthly meetings. Have they the time to continue, or are they just to continue with this absence? Check the attendance of a few.
We know that point, sir. Thank you.
Any more resolutions for Mr.
Sir, I think there's one more regarding the fixed deposits.
Well, I have a few, I think, yeah. As for fixed deposits, do you have a investment committee looking over your funds? That means they will look at the bank rates and all that and see where the money should go. Rather than once you fix with one, say Maybank, you continue with Maybank forever, even though the interest rates may be lower.
Okay, we don't have an investment committee, the EXCO, including the treasurer, the chairman, and the vice chairman, and the secretaries, actually look at these items. Now, we are using fixed deposit only. We don't do any other investments. And fixed deposits are considered low-risk deposits. We will, before we have put the money into the banks, we have looked at all the banks, or not all the banks, but as many banks as possible who are willing to take the money. I will be very clear to tell you that for us to shift money from Bank A to Bank B took us about 4 months, for a simple reason. Bank B would not let us just put the money in without understanding all our background of where we got this money. Money laundering issues have been a very big issue in all banks. So for us to start shifting banks because of 0.1% or 0.2% is not being done. So we have got banks which we have diversified our funds into 1 or 2 banks and more than 1 bank. So at the moment we are leaving it there unless the prices or the interest rates drop so much or increase so much in other banks, we will not take the trouble to change.
So my suggestion is, is there somebody looking after the FD or the whole committee?
The EXCO committee.
So
the
you are
chairman, the vice chairman, the treasurer,
okay.
and the
you can think about what I suggested in the investment committee.
Thank you.
Okay. The last item is I see your annual reports, your Sangha. I think there's a gradual change from colored to black and white.
I don't think so. It's a Sangha. You're talking about the AGM report.
Oh, maybe it could then lead to the Sangha, I do not know.
No,
but it starts with...
Let's clarify.
Okay.
The AGM reports are in black and white this year for a very simple reason. We are looking at climate change. So we are looking at saving the world. We have put up the Scta AGM booklet or the AGM booklet in the website, Scta website, all in color. So if you like to have a color copy, it's very clearly possible. But I will not see how we can talk about climate change and saving the world on one end and printing color copies on the other end.
No, you have changed. I know the climate change issue, but you have changed it because of cost factors and all that. What I even suggested, whether you can reduce the number of copies when printing, right? You suddenly, people have got used to your color concept, sudden change, so you have to give reasons. If you give that sort of reasons, well and good, but it could be because of cost factors you are trying to change the color and then black and white. What's the cost for the change? So you analyze that.
So Mr. Nathan, sorry, can I address you on this query?
No, wait. It's the image. You have all along maintained a certain standard. The image is there. Right now you suddenly drop it. Explain, just that.
Okay. I'm about to explain to you. First of all, it is incorrect that the Sangha has gone black and white. The Sangha is still printed in full color. All right? What you have observed is that the current AGM booklet that you're holding on to, apart from the cover page, the rest of it has gone black and white. Now in 2024, when we printed the 106th AGM booklet, it was in full color as you had observed. It cost us, including design, envelope and postage, handling costs and postage, it cost us a total of $4,275. And that was for 92 pages. For 700 copies then. This time around, for the 107th AGM booklet, the committee discussed, we got quote from the printer to consider between black and white and color, and the cost difference was about $1,000. And so we then proceeded with the black and white pages that you are now looking at, the same booklet you're looking at, and with the rising costs, handling costs, postage charges and everything, the final invoice for design, postage, handling, everything, envelope and all of that, came to $4,148. I guess the message I'm sharing with you is that first of all, even as we have gone black and white, our cost remains high. Secondly, there is truly a genuine attempt to go green, and yes, we need to go green. Everything around us, they've gone digital, and we are trying to gravitate towards that. And so one of the things we did was to post the color document, PDF document on the website, send the link for anybody who wants to download and therefore use it. Going forward, increasingly, we hope to use the Scta website to disseminate information so that there is less of this postage and printing, because we share the same concern with you about the climate, right? And the younger generation are asking us to do that. But we are challenged with the demand coming from the older generation, and we'll try and find a mutually acceptable solution. What I also need to impress upon you and everyone else, Scta doesn't have a revenue stream. We need to figure this out. We have the MDA, but ongoing, we may not continue to operate the MDA because they use the premises of the temple. And under the charity, there is an expectation that if you use premises of the temple, then the association should be paying for the usage of the temple, and vice versa. So these are the challenges that we have that we need to regularize. As we do that, we have to ask this question: what is the future of the Scta? When we had a home to ourselves in Handy Road, which we no longer have, today we use the temple house at number 27. It remains registered as a private property. And if we start to take on the property tax, the utilities, and everything else, then where will that income come from? If we decide to rent that premises, then what will happen to the space that the temple has been using for its staff? Now, we don't have the answers right now. We are taking this stage by stage. We are dealing with the Constitution first, with the two constitutions. As we move forward, we will deal with the title deeds, and together after the Kumbhavishekam, when we have some adjustments and ability to talk this thing through, we will work out a solution and come back to the House to get your approval on how we want to move ahead. So that's the larger picture behind all of this. And in so doing, yes, the Scta committee is very sensitive towards cost, and that's one of the reasons why it's gone black and white. I hope that answers. Thank you.
I think you have made it very clear, but do remember your membership now, most of them are in the older group, and most of them will depend on hard copy. The digital journey you are taking will be good for the younger generation who will long for it. But your population, your membership base is highly the older group.
A quick suggestion from this topic that we're evolving around. Sri was sharing about this QR code over here in the cover, and many of us use WhatsApp, so I think we should be able to get the annual report in WhatsApp, and we can see it. And for the older generation, we can just photocopy kind of print, no need to be in cover form, just the whole set, like a photocopy in black and white, and just leave the sets here. In that way, you don't have to incur courier charges and whatever postage charges. Whoever come here who do not bring the soft copy in the WhatsApp, or who have difficulty because they're elderly people, they can pick up the copy from here and they can follow through. But they still also will have the soft copy through their respective WhatsApp as long as they join the group. That's just a suggestion.
Thank you for the suggestion. Just one last thing. Thank
Just
you
to
for
add,
pointing out. Just a moment, sir. Just to Mr. Sivanesan, there is, as you say on the front page, there is this broadcast channel that we have been promoting, right? And there is a QR code there for members to get onto the broadcast channel. We are increasingly using the broadcast channel because it's a private messaging group only to members, right? And through that channel, we are trying to circulate and use that as a means of sharing information. Sorry, Mr. Nathan. Sorry, 150.
I hope you don't go to I hope you don't go to the stage where other temples are using just A4 printed copies, annual report. They don't have newsletters as what you have, right? Just think about what I'm saying. The important thing, the WhatsApp channel is a good channel which you have introduced. Make use. You can tell us how's your funding position even there.
Thank you, Mr. Ari. I think we agree that we have a standard to maintain, but as far as it is concerned, we also need to have maintained our bank accounts. Now, having moved forward on that issue, I think what Asoka has missed out to say is, I don't know how many of you in this room, there's only about 100 of you or 80 people in this room, 84 people in this room, how many of you actually have the WhatsApp channel? I think, broadcast channel, I think maybe 40%, right? So the rest of you all don't have it and refuse to get it or don't want to get it or think it's a lot of no waste of time. Fine. We have, Surendran is around. Surendran, total number of WhatsApp? 100 and? Okay, there are 600 members in our membership, 670 members, if I remember last, in our membership list, and only 180 are actually on the WhatsApp channel. So if you tell me that if we send it out in the WhatsApp channel is good enough, I'm sorry, but unfortunately, it doesn't reach the 500 others who have not registered. So we are pushing for that.
No, the WhatsApp channel is a good channel system. The thing is whether your membership records are updated to reach them. I think many of them have passed away also, which still be, it's good that you check that statistics and see how you can improve.
At the moment, our membership list has been cleared of any, redundancies and stuff, or duplicates and all being cleared. I think the membership committee has done that. We are not saying that it is perfect, but we are just saying, look, we have issues and we welcome people who can sit down, call up those members and say, can I have your telephone number? Can I register you in the WhatsApp channel? And I'm willing to put it up for the committee members to approve you or anybody else who's willing to sit down and work with us.
Correct. So the answer is, although you have 180 or something members who have joined, that doesn't mean the others don't want to join, because you have not made a comprehensive study as to why they are keeping quiet.
Agree.
So
I think Surendran can answer that question.
Yeah, but he has to give us the statistics, clear statistics to prove the point that many of them don't want. I think you all also put it in the Sangha about digital for newsletter. What's the statistics like?
No,
there was a statistics asking for how many members want digital or hard copy.
Can we engage you, Mr. Nathan, to help us with that statistics?
No, I've already done my part many years ago.
I think you have a lot to offer.
No,
I think we should be able to use.
Sometimes there's disappointment. Sometimes there's disappointment. But I've got a craze to make suggestions, right? At this age, you should be helpful. You should be grateful for the suggestions which are coming. It's not destructive. It's constructive.
Agree. Completely agree. It's constructive.
Right.
But we
So
still need
if you want my stamina, I don't have the stamina at this age.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Surendran, I think speaking in the mic if possible. Yeah. So, Mr. Jituri, after Surendran has given his update, we can move ahead.
out of the 600 over members, we have some members who doesn't have mobile numbers in our system. There are other members who have mobile numbers, but they are not on WhatsApp. The rest, out of more than 400 members, invites been sent out. Out of the 400 invites sent out, so far at the moment we have 180 people have acknowledged, and then we have been in the list. So that's the update for.
Thank you, Surendran.
Thank you.
Can I just point out, Mr. Surendran has been the only one diligently overseeing this WhatsApp channel. He set it up himself and he oversees all the content that's being pushed out to everyone. Mr. Jayadure, please.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, my thanks to the committee for the enormous amount of work that's been done, and what I see coming forward for the 2027 period is also quite significant. So my gratitude for the time and energy spent in trying to get this significant task done in the midst of sometimes somewhat frivolous questions constantly being put at you. I'm going to keep to my 3 minutes. I think it's important to have an efficient AGM to follow the agenda. It's important that a few individuals do not dominate the exchange in an AGM. If they have significant questions, they have put it across, and we should move forward. In terms of the resolutions that I've seen, some of this seem to be vexatious. I presume that Mr. Arianathan's questions have been and issues have been resolved and answered. Sir? All right. So since that's completed, I think your next stage is in regard to resolutions
7 to 13 raised by Mrs.
Right.
Shanta Rajasundram.
And am I right to believe on a point of order that these resolutions came in after the allocated time?
Yes, sir.
So are you not supposed as a committee to follow the rules and on that basis ensure the rules? I've seen the committee it has been very kind, and it has allowed a lot of things that would not normally be acceptable in an AGM. But I think at times you do need to impose the rules, and you do need to respect the rules. Could I move a motion that if a resolution was not submitted in time, that logically it should be addressed at some other platform and not the AGM? I'm not advocating removal of expression, but so many of these issues could be dealt with administratively or directly with the committee rather than holding the rest of the association hostage to the exchange. I would rather have an efficient exchange and things being kept within the rules itself. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jayadure. Wait, before we move ahead, I would just like to make a note. Yeah, but it's not a motion.
No. It's a motion. He's proposing and he's seconding it, right? So, and he wants to speak. Just a moment, sir. Let's do this properly.
So, sorry, before you speak, we just like to take a vote on...
Can I just say something before you take the vote, just to follow up
Sure.
with that gentleman? I agree that the general principle is majority rule, minority protection. But if we have a country or organization where you just use majority rule and you dispense with the interests of the minority, we want to be united. Okay, we want to be a united, even though the minority might express something that they are not happy with, right? You have the majority, you can definitely follow what the gentleman said. What he said is absolutely correct legally. But we want our organization to be a united organization. We don't want people who are very unhappy with the committee, who are very unhappy with the whole Singapore Ceylon Tamils Association. We want the Singapore Ceylon Tamils Association to be a very united people. Look at Sri Lanka. The last few days I was reading the history of Sri Lanka.
So
After 1986, I never bothered, but I just understand that in Sri Lanka, if you go by majority rule and the minority get exploited,
or are unhappy, there'll be a lot of problems. Our challenge today is those who are unhappy, we must bring them to the majority point of view. Okay? So even though I personally might not agree with some of the minority views, I feel that it's good, even though, you know, what you said is absolutely correct. But we don't want people to be feeling unhappy with our Ceylon Tamil Association.
Sorry.
So I want the Ceylon Tamil Association to be united. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Could I get your name before you sit down, sir? Excuse me, sir. Could I get your name, please? Okay, thank you, Mr. Balakrishnan. Thank you. Yes, sir. Please, Mr. Satyan.
Speak over the mic, please.
So if you can get to the mic over there, it'd be good.
Ramesh, can you bring the mic up this side?
He can't. He can walk over.
Okay, Satyanandan here. I hope you can hear me. To me, the majority are those who are sitting on a chair today. Right? We all are very busy. We came for this AGM knowing that there's an agenda and it will finish at approximately certain time. But then when we come here, people don't follow certain procedures, submit resolutions beyond the... And the committee was very nice. Initially asked if any of you got any objections. All of us kept quiet to give the people opportunity to express. But 3 minutes means 3 minutes throughout the entire AGM. Not 30 minutes or 45 minutes, and the rest of us are sitting down here wondering when will this AGM finish? Midnight or after midnight? So I think we all must respect the committee we appoint, the rules and regulations. When the committee gives me flexibility, I keep to the 3-minute rule throughout the whole AGM. I cannot be standing here 10 times talking about the thing and the rest of us wondering what the hell is going on. Is this a dialogue session, debate between one member and all that? So I respect everyone, whether you are a committee or member, but I also respect every human being who takes the time to come to the AGM. And I think the only way to have some kind of understanding is we all know that this AGM will finish at a certain time, we all can go back, and next year we also will come because there is a protocol. Okay? So I would thank the chair for being flexible, but unfortunately the gentleman earlier proposed a motion. I want to second the motion, and I want the 3 minutes rule to be enforced strictly. Right? That means once you stand up and raise some issue, then throughout the whole AGM, you just keep quiet. You can still write. You can still give feedback. You can still come and volunteer. Right? But AGM, let's work together to keep the timeline. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes, Mr. Sivanasan.
Chairman and committee, I think what you all have done so far of being magnanimous, I really would like to applaud. And really, please everyone, let's applaud. Of being not so sticky and to the letter of the law. I agree with Mr. Bala that this is a community. As much as possible, we would want to enforce things. But we have to be mindful that this is a charity thing, and we are trying our best to do things. And we will all give inputs. It is not criticism, unlike someone said. It is inputs of feedback, and this is the channel to give the inputs and feedback. And it's up to the committee's prerogative based on the resources and the time constraint whether it's able to be done. And otherwise, I mean, if you really need help, you just ask around, and I'll be one who will be willing to help in some aspects whenever I can. But please take it as positive feedback. It is not at all criticism, and to level up the capability and the rigor and the level of resilience in the whole process of the committee and the community.
Thank you.
So I feel that it's well done, and I think it's good to allow, because this is only a once in a blue moon kind of thing, that we come up together and we discuss these points. Thank you.
I think, to be fair, some of these things need not wait for an AGM. That's what Jedura is trying to say. You can write to us and say that, we don't agree with some of the things that you're doing, because we will reply to you if we think that what you have brought up is reasonable. Okay? But what Mr. Jedura is trying to say is, We cannot sit down here and look at frivolous ideas and all that. We are not saying it's not positive, but some of these things could have been handled in a better way. And it works two ways. If we were to bend the rules, we will be taken to task. So the House also has to have the rules to be playing with. So both ways it works. So we have to look at it in a whole picture.
To that end, I'd just like to follow on from Dr. Indrigan saying, I fully agree. We did debate this internally amongst the management committee, whether we should allow the resolutions which came in after the deadline to be discussed. Please give me a moment, ma'am. And we decided that we should err on the side of caution because we should not be inconsistent in our approach. Other members will take care as a precedence as well. To the end, the two chairmen and I agreed that we will put it to the House, and if there's any single objection to the rules being flouted, we will honor that request and we won't hear the resolutions. To the end, I'll take like the chairman of the meeting, the president of Scta, to make the final call on this.
I saw Scta raise her hand, right? This is what I'm going to propose that we do. If you don't mind, Scta, yeah? No, sure. No, let me make a proposal to you because, first of all, we sent these minutes out very early. We made the deadline very clear. So it is very clear that we should only acknowledge resolutions or queries or whatever received in time. So we are under no obligation to do so. Right? That's my first point. Second, there has been an objection and a seconder that has put up their hand to say that this is objectionable, we should not allow this because you're wasting everybody's time as well. And I recognize that and I appreciate that as well. Third, what you have done is not raise resolutions, you have raised queries. All right? So we are ready to answer the queries. All right? We are ready to answer the queries. And in order not to waste anyone's time, this is what I'm going to propose. I'm going to allow you to speak for 3 minutes, all right? Because you're returning to us, I'll allow you to speak for 3 minutes. And then we're going to go through the resolutions and we will give our answers and that's it. There will not be any further debate, nothing. So you hear our answers and then we move on, right? So that we are fair to everybody. Can we do that? Yeah? Okay. So 3 minutes to you.
Thank you, everybody. Sorry for wasting your time. I sent 2 emails. One was before midnight in a format that it would have run. That has not come up. But when I corrected it,
we did not receive it, Scta. We only received this email. It was sent to the SCTA email address.
Yes.
Right? This is the only email that was received.
Well, if you look at my computer, you can see 2 emails. Okay?
Fine. We didn't
Okay.
receive it.
Coming back to this letter, our call for EOGM. Okay? It was signed by Ashwin Kumaridas. On behalf of the undersigned members, he did not sign it on a personal capacity.
Scta, I have
that's
explained to you that you have sent us an email with these various comments here. I've invited you to speak about this. Anything about your EGM, I've said earlier, you have made the call, we have accepted that it's a valid requisition, right? And I'll address the House on this before we leave today on that issue. So anything to do with that, we'll deal with it on the day of the EGM.
Okay, can I move on? Resolution 1. Has the management committee initiated running a daycare center for senior citizens who are prepared to volunteer during the Kumbhasham activities? Number 2, explain to a few members on
Scta, I'm sorry, Scta, are you reading it out? Because
I'm reading it out.
We have given copies to everybody.
Yeah, they have to follow, isn't it?
So we will answer it. We will answer you and then we'll move.
Okay, one very important thing for the temple, okay?
Sorry, ma'am, if I could just suggest, if there's any clarifications or elaborations on any of these points, you can share them now. If not, we'll just answer the questions directly.
Okay. Number 2, very important for the temple and our society. Management committee, please explain why halal certified items are being used and consumed in the temple. It has been raised many times, and yet the answer has not been there. The rest of it is up to you all to answer or not to answer. I rest my case. Thank you.
Okay, can I answer that question on the halal issue? If you pick up the water bottle, if you all have a water bottle on your table or whatever it is, right, on your seat, it marked halal. Okay, wait. Let me complete. All right. We have written, or not me, but the past management committee has written through the Hindu Advisory Board and Endowment Board to MUIS. And MUIS has sent a reply. And this reply has been made to the people who actually brought up the complaint in 2022 or 2021, right? The Arabic term halal means permissible. In this context, Muslim dietary laws, it means food that is permissible to consume. It's only during slaughter that there is usually the reference of divine accompaniment. The concern here is divine accompaniment, right? Using, the accompaniment by the slaughtering method according to Islamic requirements. For milk and other non-meat products, the halal logo is used to indicate that the ingredients are halal, and process of producing the product is based on halal assurance standards. That means it has been made or it's been produced in a premises which has got no slaughtering or no negative, I won't say negative, but poultry or anything of that sort. So if you buy a Coca-Cola can, which is manufactured in a Tiger brewery, it cannot be marked halal because it's an alcoholic brewery. That is the reason why alcohol and Coca-Cola, it will not be marked halal until they break away from the Tiger brewery. Understand? So this has been made very clear, and this is from MUIS. I do not have anybody else I can go to ask them this question. So it is very clear, we are not using any slaughtered meat which has been pre-given to the gods before they slaughtered the animal and then used that in the temple. We are only using, if you go back home, your Baba's powder, your house brand, your water bottle is all halal marked. So it is very clear.
Yeah, it is clear what the government is doing, what MUIS is doing is very clear. But here we have got traders who do not go under halal certification. Why can't you buy general items?
I can't buy a water bottle which is not halal marked.
Not halal marked.
So what do I do?
Go look for it, basically.
I don't have. I've checked. I cannot buy a water bottle which is not halal marked unless I go and buy Avian water, which is $1.80 or $2.50 a bottle. This is 30 cents. I'm not going to use that because we don't use that.
Another issue is you can use the water cooler.
No, we have a water cooler.
Yeah, you
we have
use
a
water cooler.
But if I was to drink, I've drunk half the bottle here. So what do you want me to do? Go down and drink a cup of water and come up? So it is...
No. I mean, we don't have to debate this.
Yeah, we don't have to debate. That's right.
But basically, when you say it's halal certified, basically a Muslim coming in will eat your food.
Agree.
Okay? That is the whole idea.
Doesn't matter.
And
we are welcome any race or religion to come in.
You are welcome. You are welcoming any race or religion. There are plenty of tourists of coming through.
Right.
But for people who are following the Saivite policies, when they see the Saivite, the halal mark there, that means you are saying that there's no other water, you use this one that's certified. Think the other way. Think out of the box, please.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
we'll
thank you.
Yeah. Nothing. She doesn't want to read it.
So Shanta, can I confirm you got the answer you wanted for the most important question? We can ignore the rest, yeah?
Actually, you have already circulated. You have not given the House the time to read it and understand it. I know what this is all about, so I can write it off because I already said
Fine. But as I mentioned,
but it's up to you all to answer or not to answer, to take it on or not to take it on.
Okay, fine. So we won't have a discussion anymore, yeah? Okay? Because you sent your resolutions after the deadline.
No, I didn't send the resolutions. I sent out two. One was before. It was in a format that was not, that I realized at midnight that it was not right. Okay? Then you got the second version, which was a readable version. So it is up to you all to take it on or not to take it on.
Ma'am, if I may clarify that point, the first email was received at 1:59 a.m. on our end. I'm not sure what happened if you sent it out before midnight, but we really received it at 1:59. And you're right, it's in a strange format, and you then clarified it with the follow-up email. But both emails were received after 12 midnight, ma'am.
Yes, both emails now you say from the platform that you have received. Okay, I rest my case. Thank you.
Yes, Dr. Via.
Okay, I would rather see my own Yalpanam people.
Can you please address the chairman, please?
Hello,
It's because that we are
Hello, Chairman. Hello, President.
No,
Who
you have
else
to-
you want me to address?
No, you have to address it in this direction, please.
Can I talk to my people? If you say cannot, then I turn.
Madam,
No, if you say cannot, I turn.
okay, cannot.
Okay, well and good. All right, so I'm not allowed to talk to you all. Now, all right, who is in charge of this? Can you bring it down? Now, all right, I heard a lot, okay, from the stage to the floor. All right, and you seem to be very concerned over time taken. That means the number of shortcomings that is there from the management side is so much that the people at the floor brings it up to your attention. I know one member said something about passion and all that. Instead of working with your own people, maybe you are there for 5 years, 10 years. After that, you'll come here. And these people might go up, or their children might go up. This is the cycle. Now, your shortcomings are highlighted. They are not pointing all their fingers at you. They are highlighting to you the shortcomings. You must be magnanimous enough, okay, man enough, okay? Don't quote me on that, because those are the words I will use, and if you want to take it against me, if you all are man enough, you must understand what the floor is bringing up to your attention. Be grateful. Up to now, they are bringing to your attention. They are not going behind the back and telling about it. They are not going out to the world and saying bad things about you. They come in front of you and they are telling you. So be patient, be grateful, and accept whatever they are saying. Are you timing me so that I can, do I have enough time, or I finished my time?
You can.
If I finish my time, you can tell me.
Ma'am, please go on.
Oh, I still have time. Can I talk to my people? Does this AGM? Yeah, coming to talk about AGM. This AGM is for 2024. Okay, you are doing statement of account for 2024. I can understand that. When are you going to give us 2025? Before the Kumbhavishayam, 2026 to Kumbhavishayam. Are you going to put them together and give? Because 2024, 2025, we have 2 constitutions. Is it? No, 1. 2026, we might have 2 from now on. So there is a difference. Knowing that 2025 accounts should be tabled, but I don't know when. Maybe you can tell me why 2025 statement of account is not present today.
Thank you, Dr. Via.
My name is Sundar. I'd just like to answer what Dr. Via just said. The problem with a lot of people in this house, okay, not a lot of people, some people, who keep asking questions, repeated questions to which the committee has taken time to answer, but they do not want to understand. It's very clear, Dr. Via, that you did not listen to the chairman's speech. No? During his speech, he advised when the 2025 AGM will be called and the accounts presented. And for you to ask this again is clearly that you were not listening at his speech. Similarly, when the EOGM has been called, he has advised and clarified on all the different options, but the people have still called for EOGM, not understanding what was explained. Time was taken to advise these people. The halal matter, I think, okay, I'm not very religious and I don't understand the halal matter so well, but I think Dr. Indran has clearly explained what MUIS has advised. I still don't understand why people keep harping as to why we are using the halal goods, because Dr. Indran has clearly advised that it's difficult to source. On one hand, we are saying we should not waste money and try and cut it, go green. But then, on the other hand, we are saying spend more money. What happens if one day PUB says that the water that is dispensed is halal? Are you all going to stop drinking that water? I think the people who keep asking certain questions is like what my mother used to say was,
Thank you, Sundar.
Thank you, Sundar.
Okay. Mr. Nathan, if I could ask you, please keep it brief, but please go ahead.
I'm trying to give, to first question, one of the questions which was said that we should follow the agenda. All of us would like to follow the agenda. If for those who may not understand the agenda, then you explain, it solves the problem. Now, that is what happened in the last EOGM, where the agenda, they also shifted, okay, settled. As for the halal matter, one other possibility, you can get in touch with HEB and see what's their view, nothing more. Share with us, people will be satisfied. Number two. Number three, we are not here to find fault. We are trying to make suggestions. If you feel that we are being a nuisance, then what you should do, remove suggestions from the Constitution, engage a cobbler, and stitch our mouths. That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Aryanathan.
Thank you.
I would just like to wrap up this note because we've hit the last item on the agenda, but to answer some of your queries or some of your comments about this.
Just a moment. The last AGM was 5.5 hours.
Yes, and we're doing much better today, thankfully. To answer some of the queries that were raised earlier about feedback being taken in a positive light, I'd like everyone to reflect on the chairman's attitudes here today. I think every single query that was raised was answered in good faith and openly. And I can say fully that Asoka and Indran are both incredibly committed, together the teams, to serving this community. So one more statement, sorry. With regards to questions being raised either through resolution or through emails to us, we are also committed to answering those questions. We've also reached out to many individuals over the past few months to state openly that you can meet us at any point in time. We'll put aside our time to meet you, to address these questions and have discussions with you. We're happy to do that as well. So please feel free to do so. Now to wrap it up, we'll let's ask the... Yes, Mr. Sivanesan.
A quick point. I think decorum and courtesy has to be maintained and not unnecessary words mentioned, like by one of the earlier speakers. Please, Chairman and Secretary, please manage that and remove or stop that from happening.
I know that point, thank you.
It's been amicable and nice so far.
Sure, I know that point, thank you. We do like to hear everybody out. I'm sorry to say we'll be taking no further questions from the floor or any other comments. I think we've done our best to hear everybody out as much as possible here today. So we will stop at this point of time. It's now 5:50 p.m. So we'll let the President end off today's AGM. Thank you.
I just want to end off with a quick note and thank everyone for your time. We spent 3 hours this time round. We are doing better, as Mr. Aryanathan observed. As I mentioned at the speech, at the start of my speech, 21 members have requisitioned for an EGM. At the start of the speech, I informed the House that we had spoken to the member who signed the letter to request for an extension of time. For some reason, the email went into a junk box, and just sitting up on the stage, I want to confirm to Scta, who I spoke about this earlier, to say that yes, we have received his reply, and his reply to us is that they're not prepared to accede to our request for an extension of time. In the circumstances, as soon as I constitute a new committee within the week or so, we will try and find an appropriate date, which may not be the most convenient to everybody, but I want the House to appreciate that this is what the member who had called for the EGM has told us, right? So we will try and find an appropriate date fitted somewhere in between all the temple events, right, that's happening for that, so that these members who have requisitioned for this EGM can ventilate and we can respond on the issue. And the only issue that will be dealt with at that EGM is about the two constitutions and whether the earlier EGM should be made null and void, which is the substance of that letter. All right? So on that basis, thank you very much, everyone. I look forward to seeing you at the EGM.
I have also been tasked to ask everyone to also sign up for the Scta broadcast channel, which will be on my slides briefly. So please feel free to scan this slide to sign up if you can. Thank you. Have a blessed Kartige. Thank you.
I'd like to propose a word of thanks to the chair.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, can I just call the attention of the floor, since the management committees are there, please go through this. They are constructive and very forward-looking suggestions. It is up to you all to take it on.
Thank you.
Okay? And another thing that I would like to say is, we appreciate all your hard work, but please do not muzzle people. Thank you.
A final note, there's also tea available downstairs. Thank you.
Yeah, tea and vada.